You're welcome to another edition of GH Today here on GHOne TV, and I'm Mohammed. It's a beautiful day. We're here to serve you sizzling breakfast, of course, here on your perfect morning companion. Let me start by motivating you this morning. Hey! The quote for this morning is by Franklin D. Roosevelt, who says the only thing we have to fear is fear itself. Sometimes you're so afraid. You are asking yourself, what if? What if it goes right? And you're asking yourself, why me? Why not you? The things that we're afraid will happen, sometimes they do happen. But and so what? You do not know what lies ahead of you. I know you're afraid to take that bold step. I know you are afraid to take that decision. I know you're afraid that this decision that I took is haunting me. But don't worry, there's always light at the end of the tunnel. So that's our way of motivating you this morning. Let me help you write better English and then speak better English as well.
Today's word is Personable. Personable. It's an adjective. If someone is personable, the person is pleasant, friendly, and easy to like. Let's exemplify it. Even though IB is such a tease, many people easily open up to him because they believe he is personable. Personable.
This is a perfect example. IB is such a personable person. You should meet my producer. You'd love him. He's an amazing soul. So this one, it really exemplifies who Ibrahim Alassan is. Anyway, let me pump you up for a beautiful Tuesday morning. Good morning, Captain.
Good morning, Lily. How are you doing?
I'm doing awesome. How about you?
Great. Good to see you again.
I know.
Yes.
I know. Back to basics, right?
I clear. So the work has to be done.
Of course.
Yes, so we are here to serve you. Just the way we have to serve you. So this is a beautiful breakfast from the corridors of the legal setting. So we are giving you nothing but what you need to know, hovering around the court and all that.
Absolutely.
National service.
Yes. Back in the news.
Yes.
I mean, since last year, they've been in the news.
Yes.
Upon assumption of this administration, they've been in the news. The Attorney General, after his confirmation from Parliament, he's highly dwelt on the ghost name scandal. And then he's done a series of press conferences now. They've been charged.
Yes, you have literally summarized the whole thing. You have summarized the whole thing. So that is basically so. So in a run up to the last legal year, sometime in June, the Attorney General, the current Attorney General, Dr. Dominic Ayine, held a press conference specifically on the 13th of June and provided some updates. I
remember very well because it was the day before my birthday.
And the update was in relation to some investigations done by for the state, where some allegations have been made in relation to how ghost names have surfaced within the National Service
Authority.
Absolutely. And through that, state funds are being misappropriated. So investigations upon investigation and all that. Remember that on that day, the Attorney General did indicate that 22 persons were under the radar. 8 of them were narrowed down to 8 of them because at some point in time, some of them have come forward by way of to have plea, bargaining, negotiations, and all of that. And the Attorney General, per the law, there's an act that allowed that to happen. Look at it and say, look, when everything was ready, because the promise was that they were going to file charges before the conclusion of the last legal year, but some other information came up that will require further investigation, so that delayed the whole processes and all of that. I don't want to even talk too much. Let's hear from the Attorney General, Dr. Dominic Ayine, when he was making the point on all about the national service issues.
Service Authority scandal case was due to be filed last week, as promised. When we stumbled upon evidence of malfeasance involving an account at the Bank of Ghana to which had been transferred an amount of 189 million Ghana cedis. Out of this amount, 80 million Ghana cedis cannot be traced. But we found 2 checks bearing the name and account details of the former Director General, Mr. Osei Asibe, which had been used to withdraw funds totaling a little under 2 million Ghana cedis from the said account. We have therefore halted the filing of charges so as to await the receipt of the evidence from the relevant state agencies, including the Bank of Ghana, Ministry of Finance, and the Controller and Accountant General's Department. In fact, as I speak, the Bank of Ghana signaled to me that this morning they are going to deliver the entire bank statement, for my attention. 8 suspects in this investigation have approached my office for plea negotiations, including 3 former officers of the National Service Authority. Some officials have offered to testify against their colleagues, and some vendors and service providers are willing to come clean and testify as prosecution witnesses. When you build your docket well, this is the result that you get. 8, people are willing to testify. Persons, they are not coming to say hearsay. They are not coming to give hearsay evidence. People who were involved, okay? And we are, in negotiations with them and their lawyers, as a precondition, I tell them, you bring back the money that we have calculated that you took, you serve as a prosecution witness. That is the approach that we are using.
So that is the Attorney General at the time, sometime in June, when this whole issue surfaced and his office was working on preferring charges against persons who are deemed to have played roles leading to the state incurring those losses. But the sum in question we are told is over 500 million Ghana cedis.
Yes.
Yesterday, the 13th of October, just few days, let's say a little over 2 weeks when the new legal year started, the Attorney General has preferred charges. And in fact, what we do know now is that 2 state officials, the former executive director of National Service Authority, Osei Sibe, and then his deputy, Gifty Owari Mensah, have been charged. And one must put on record that the charges are separately.
Yes.
They are separate in nature.
So
2 different charges.
There's stealing,
absolutely.
There's cost and financial loss. All
and
under the Criminal Offences Act, 29. Yeah.
So on your screens now is a brief summary of the charges that have been preferred against the former executive director of National Service Authority, Osei Sibe Entry. And Lily, you can see in all, there are 14 counts. And so somebody will say the 14 counts are accumulated into 3 main charges. So we have 14 counts, but put together, we have 3 main charges. So you could see, like you mentioned, we have causing financial loss to the Republic, contrary to Section 1791 of the Criminal Offences Act, 1960 Act 29. 7 different counts. So what it means is that the number of times that it is alleged that Mr. Osei Sibe have perpetrated causing financial loss. But it is 1 main charge. But under the causing financial loss, he's done that 7 times.
So that the lay person can understand.
So 7 counts, different instances of causing financial loss. But it is in all, it starts of 1 main charge. Then we have 6 counts of stealing. So the number of times that the AG investigated are of the view that he's stolen funds, allegedly,
from the state.
On 6 different counts. If you follow the charge sheets, it prescribes each of the amount that is presumed to have been stolen. Then a count of money laundering. So all these funds that it is absolutely, it's whether to have laundered the money in all of that. So that is the charges that have been preferred against the former executive director. Then Gifty Owari Mensah, there comes her charge sheet. And on her charge sheet, how many counts? 1,
stealing,
2,
counts
3, 4, 5. 5 different counts. So a count of stealing, then 2 counts of willfully causing financial. And this word is very key. Willfully. And that is what is expected to be proven in court. That was it intentional? That at the time that this act is being perpetrated allegedly, the person who is alleged, in this case, Gifty Owari Mensah, knew that whatever she was doing, it's against the law. And that is why this very charge, or these 2 counts of charges, came to the fore. Willfully causing financial loss to the Republic and using public office for profit.
And you know that if you look at the causing financial loss, hers is different. Because if you compare that to that of Osei Sibe, his is causing financial loss. But hers is willfully causing. So even though they are both under 179, they are...
Absolutely. Thank you for that observation. So when they are preferring the charge, not for any reason that charges have been preferred, but you look at the acts perpetrated, and then you have to design your charges to fit into what has been perpetrated. And that's how we count 2 counts of willfully causing financial loss to the Republic. And this particular charge, using public office for profit, I have seen it many times, especially in relation to even corruption and corruption-related activities. The OSP, anytime the OSP prefer charges, you see this one feature more times. Also, all issue that has to do with financial malfeasance, you see the issue of, especially with regards to public officers, when they use their powers, their office, to influence certain acts to gain certain advantage in certain situations and all of that. And of course, the almighty money laundering when it comes to all the monies that are into question. But in relation to Gifty Owari's charge, the amount in question is over 36 million Ghana cedis. And in fact, the narration that follows this one, even to the extent that when the National Service was going through all these things and they formed certain platform to be able to get national officers, national service persons, he said they came from a company, the Block of Life, where she literally took over, and then ghost name, over 9,000 ghost names, which was presumed to be persons who are on the national service scheme, were coined, used that one as a collateral to go to ADB. And in fact, at some point in time, you know that we were told that the husband, who is a lawyer, was also named as a director. And in this particular charge sheet that was filed, you know that the driver of her mother is one of the directors of the company that has been said. And it emerged, according to the charge sheet and according to the state prosecutors, that at the end of investigations, it came to fall that over 9,000 names that have been submitted or were used to secure the loans were ghost names. And these monies that were paid were actually transferred into private accounts, presumably being owned by Gifty Owari. And on the basis of that, the state is of the view that some wrongdoing have occurred, and so they have to be in court to respond to the charges. So pay attention to this and then be monitoring the space. It could be today, it could be tomorrow, it could be any time this week. Mr. Osei entry and of course Gifty Owari could be in court, and we'll hear what their responses will be in relation to these two separate charges that have been leveled against them. So those of you who have been asking the National Service case, when is it coming? Attorney General says that now he's setting, and now everything has been concluded. He's going to court. And he's actually gone to court.
Well, yes. We're yet to see a commencement of a process.
So that is something that you should expect happening in the as and when it comes out. From today up to the close of the week, we should have them appear in court to come and respond
obviously,
to whatever allegations that have been leveled against them. So the Attorney General, people will ask, but there were 8 persons whose names have been mentioned. And this is something that should give you a clue of how different instances, different situations within the National Service, and then as and when, then remember even the GHOne to means case, different scenarios within the Akunta mining and all of them, separate charges and all of that. So keep watching, and I will give you more updates on that.
Absolutely. Yesterday, I recall that you put something on our news platform, and I was just laughing. Regards to the SkyTrain project, what's happening between the client and his counsel?
So yesterday, quite interesting development in court. For the first time, I saw Professor Christopher Miyakunfi in court without the wheelchair.
Okay.
So yesterday he came in, he was looking quite well, but with a walking stick to aid his walking into the court and all of that. And the case was called. The Deputy Attorney General, Dr. Jesrem Syed, was there. Lawyers of the first accused person, that is Solomon Asamoah on your screen there, where the Mrs. Victoria Bath was his counsel. He was present. But what about the counsel for the second accused person, Professor Christopher Miyakunfi, absent? So the court will have to inquire from him. But before then, the court had a message, a letter. But first, the court was asking, because once the lawyer had brought an official letter, definitely an accused person, you have to make an arrangement for a lawyer to come. Then he said that there's a disagreement between him and his lawyers. But the efforts are being made to resolve the impasse, to ensure that at the close of the week...
It reminds me of Namwan, you know, at some point. Atacha, and then the, what do you call it?
The National Signals Bureau case. It's a case of you having your lawyer. But in respect of the Namwan, it was quite interesting because the point is that give me some time to scout for a new lawyer. And he's again saying that it is not to mean that he sacked his lawyer.
So, what do you mean?
Quite interesting. So he makes the point that, look, by the close of the week, he will be able. That was when Justice Audrey Kokuvite made it known that there's an official letter from his lawyers signaling or putting them on notice that they've withdrawn their services from the case. So from his own analysis or his own response to the court, he's working behind the scenes to ensure that his lawyers are back in court. So many times for the court, because of experience and all of that, it could be money issue, but we don't think that in respect of Professor Christopher Abiyakumfi, he should be with issues with how to pay your lawyers and all of that. So we do not know the exact reasons and all of that. So that case has been adjourned to Monday. Monday because lawyers of the first accused person, Solomon Asamoah, have filed an application seeking to halt proceedings because earlier, before the legal vacation, they filed process seeking for some disclosure document, which the court dismissed. They say that they are appealing against that request that was dismissed by the court at the Court of Appeal. So they want the process. It stayed until such time that process at the Court of Appeal would have been dealt with. So the court said that motion has been fixed for Monday. So yesterday, nothing was going to happen. They should come Monday, 8:15 a.m. for the motion to be moved, and the court will make a determination as to whether to stay or to move on. But what is clear also is that Justice Comfort Asiame, who started the earlier processes, is no longer handling this
case. So there's a new judge.
Absolutely. You know that there have been a lot of changes. Some High Court judges have been elevated to the Court of Appeal, and then some High Court, Circuit Court judges are also coming to the High Court. So there have been some administrative changes and all of that. And Justice Audrey Kokuvite is now the new judge to handle that case. So that's what's happening in relation to this very one.
Okay, let's look at some of the cases coming up today. Charles Bisi is back in court?
Yes, OSP. And this one has to do with some corruption and corruption-related matters and all of that. And what is clear is that the trial is expected to happen before the High Court. They'll be there and they will follow it through to update you. So this and some other cases certainly will happen, including the National Service one that we just told you about. So keep monitoring the space.
Okay, so that should do for court today. We are back shortly.
Maugawa Hailu, dog will pay about Hanya Channel. But your fund will move Yata Hanoru. I am to Yata Hanoru. Yantani Yabe. Thank my president that he is in office, and what Toko Okpando has been yearning for in terms of rescue boats has been given to our Navy detachment in Toko. I want to promise you that we'll take care of these boats, handle it, make sure what is meant for will be used for that purpose alone. And I also want to thank my community, the elders, for coming together to receive these books and also receive the personnel take good care of the personnel. The Navy detachment, when I listened very carefully to the manager or the team leader, he said it's purposely brought here for rescue purposes, not loading passengers, not for any financial, personal benefit. And I believe you will abide and go by these rules and regulations. As a municipal chief executive, we are promising whatever support that assembly will give to the personnel to make safekeep of these boats, we are ready. that he is in office and what Toko or Bando has been yearning for in terms of rescue boats has been given to our Navy detachment in Toko. I want to promise you that we'll take care of these boats, handle it, make sure what is meant for will be used for that purpose alone. And I also want to thank my community, the elders, for coming together to receive these boats and also receive the personnel. Take good care of the personnel. The Navy detachment, when I listened very carefully to the manager or the team leader, he said it's purposely brought here for rescue purposes, not loading passengers, not for any financial, personal benefit. And I believe you will abide and go by these rules and regulations. As a municipal chief executive, we are promising whatever support that assembly will give to the personnel to make safekeep of these boats, we are ready to do that.
Okay, so that's somewhere around the Volta region, and I'm sure yesterday you recall that we brought you an incident of a boat disaster that claimed 15 lives. As of yesterday, one person was still missing, 4 others have been rescued. Quite unfortunate. And yesterday we told you that these, even though these are not new, we've always come back to report on it, but what are the concrete things that have been done regarding this? I mean, yesterday we also engaged, you recall, so we engaged your T regional minister. He assured that a number of interventions will be put in place. A number of enforcement measures will also be adequately placed so that we do not keep recording these instances. I mean, for a boat to be overpacked and people will look on, because mind you, this is the only means to travel to the other side. And so if people do not travel at a certain time, they feel that, well, I will not be able to get there on time, or I will not be able to travel at all. But are we looking at alternative ways of transporting these people, safer ways of transporting these people? Are we looking at provision of life jackets? One of the critical issues the OT regional minister raised yesterday was that people are refusing to wear life jackets. But if there's strict enforcement, will these people fail to wear these life jackets? And also the fact that people are throwing caution to the wind when it comes to numbers on these boats. But who is in charge of safety and security on our water bodies? This is critical. I think that this is something that the Ministry of Transport should take up highly, because every year, it appears that every year we lose people on these water bodies, especially in the Volta region, owing to the boats hitting tree stumps or overloaded, and so they capsize midway. But these are avoidable. We're also blaming it on weather because now we're experiencing more rains. But can we not avert some of these things? Sabi, good morning.
Good morning, Lily.
How are you?
I'm good. And of course, yesterday, as you mentioned, we brought that sad development people. 15 people dead, 11 of them are kids. And we told once again that this boat or canoe was being manned by an 11-year-old child. It's something that runs through almost all the boat disasters that we've witnessed. From the GHOne, when kids were ferrying themselves to school, to the Laura one, and many others. But of course, per what we gather, there are some efforts, measures, even before this incident by the Ghana Maritime Authority. And the videos you saw are some of community engagement and donations to communities that are along water bodies.
Yeah.
So I'm sure we'll engage the CEO and then
now that you mentioned he has joined us via Zoom, Dr. Kamaldeen Ali, the CEO of the Ghana Maritime Authority. Doc, good morning to you.
Good morning to you also, and good morning to all your listeners.
Okay. Doc, at what point did the authority realize that this incident had occurred?
Very few minutes after events across the Volta Lake, and we are expanding and opening more detachments. So in Dambai, that is close by, there is both a Navy and a Ghana Maritime Authority detachment. In much, even a closer place like Etekrachi, we have a Ghana Navy detachment there that works with the Ghana Maritime Authority. So soon after this incident happened, we were seized with the information, the rather sad information, and you will see that essentially the Ghana Maritime Authority took the lead to bring this to the attention of the public.
You say that you've been, for want of a better expression, policing these coastal belts. There are a number of issues raised by the Oti Regional Minister yesterday with regards to people throwing caution to the wind. In your patrols, have these things come to your attention?
Yeah, all the issues raised by the Honorable Regional Minister are very legitimate, and those are the issues that we are dealing with. Let me say that for a boat incident to occur, generally it could be from three reasons. One is weather, either weather in terms of the larger weather or the state of the water. One could be obstacles in the way of the navigable river or area. And the final could be human error. The human error comprises of a number of things. One is failure to navigate well or to handle the boat well. A boat that is not good enough, overloading of the boat, and failing to wear life jackets. Now, the human error accounts for most of the human error or human negligence account for over 90% of the incidents that we normally have in Ghana. So the truth is that, as indicated by the Honorable Minister, and which is what we also noticed and we have been working on, people are not compliant. First and foremost, what we do is that as much as possible, all the boats are marked with what we call the load lines. The load lines is to simply tell you that if you are putting any weight into the boat, this is the limit to which you can put the weight into the boat. And even within the coastal communities, there is general knowledge about these things. Yet people will go beyond that, put more human beings or more cargo on the boat as it's supposed to be. And you know, we do that as a culture generally in Ghana. Even when you are on the road, you see that vehicles are overloaded. It's the same mentality that you see at sea, except that in the case of the sea, once you overload a boat or in the water, once you overload a boat on the water, there is a tendency that it can drown. And it's debated by the fact that people don't like wearing life jackets, even when they are provided. And most of the boat operators also, although there are life jackets for them to buy at a subsidized price, they are not willing to do that. Then the case of people manning boats that are not supposed to be manning boats, especially in this particular incident, given the age of the person that is manning the boat.
Okay. I know that as part of your mandate, you are to ensure maritime safety, i.e. inland waterways, enforcement of strict rules. How is this enforcement done? Because if you have alluded to the fact that a number of the challenges raised are actually true, how is this enforcement done?
So what we have been doing is that we have detachments along the coast.
Okay.
Let me say that the detachments were fewer when I took office, and what we are doing is that we are expanding the detachment. In the video that you showed, you see that we have recently opened, for example, the detachment in Pando Tako, where we have an office. Not only that, we sent a whole search and rescue boat to Pando Tako. The reason is that in that particular location, there are currents, water currents that normally lead to accidents. We are expanding and we are opening a new office at Akosombo so that we'll be within reach and they can coordinate search and rescue and other responses from there. One of the things, the critical things that is going to happen soon is that we are recruiting what we call safety guards. The safety guards will be in the community. Let's look at it this way. You need as many people on the ground as possible if people are not compliant. It's just like having police. Yeah. The truth is that we don't need to have those numbers to ensure compliance if people are compliant. But in the absence of people not complying, you need as many people as possible.
Okay.
So what we are doing is to recruit people from the community that will be safety guards. They will be trained and deployed by the end of the year. By the end of the year, for example, we intend to have 250 to 300 safety guards that will be deployed in the communities. So this will be people from the community working with opinion leaders in the community and ensuring that the basic requirements are complied with. Of course, this is an additional budget, a huge financial burden on the Ghana Maritime Authority, on the government. But because we value life, we are going to do this and we'll expand more, just not in the Volta Lake only. There are many other navigable waters in the country far beyond the Volta Lake, and people often are not aware, whether in the Upper East, in the Upper West, the Black Volta, Savannah area. There are many, many other areas, and we are going to gradually cover all these areas with safety guards.
Okay, so are you by this saying that as CEO, you are committed that this will not recur? I mean, if it appears as though every year record incidents like this will come out to talk about it, and then another year, especially during seasons like these, we record such instances.
Thank you very much. It takes a lot of partnership to have a zero incident. While the Ghana Maritime Authority and the government will do it best, and much like, for example, DVLA and road safety will do their best, it takes quite a lot of things to prevent accidents completely. The compliance of the people, the way they behave, how they value safety. So yes, Ghana Maritime Authority, we are committed to incrementally increasing safety, ensuring that as much as possible we make ourselves available and we are enhancing safety and compliance. But ultimately, we cannot promise a zero-free accident waterways. That will also depend on the partnership on the other side, what our people are doing, how they are complying. Because let's face it, just as you can have a police or a road safety officer following every car in Ghana, you cannot have a Ghana Maritime Authority safety person following every boat to ensure that the boat is safe. So at the end of the day, it takes a combination of attitude and responses to ensure ultimate safety. We will push, we will continue to do our best with the support of our minister, the Honorable Minister of Transport, Honorable Joseph Nipe, and the government. But it will also take the community leaders, it will take the people themselves to also support what we are doing so that together we can save lives. Each life is very important, and we must do everything to save life, whether on road accident or at sea accident or inland water accident, we must save lives. But ultimately, it takes that dual partnership, or what I would even say, 3 levels of partnership. What we do, what the community do, and what the individuals do.
Now, in lumping the 3 together, are there going to be certain heads that will roll? Because obviously somebody failed to do something. Disciplinary actions whatsoever?
Yes, for us, as we have indicated also in our press release, we'll continue to enhance safety and we'll want to hold people responsible. Let me say that it is not that easy holding people responsible in terms of penal punishments, but we hope that the community leaders in particular will help us. One thing that must be clear, and you have said it in your intro, that this is the means of transportation for those communities, and it is by and large safe means of transportation. I will want a situation in our country where we have complementarity of modes of transport. This is a sustainable, safe way of transportation. So let's continue to use our boats, but let's make sure that they are safe. The culture of safety that we are preaching and we are enforcing, the people should embrace it, and together we'll be able to enhance safety in our navigable waters.
Okay, I thought I lost you. But support for victims. I know that some people survived. How many have survived? And the person that we learned was missing as of yesterday. Where are we in search and rescue for that person?
Yeah, let me say that today Her Excellency, the Vice President, is leading a team and almost getting to the area.
Okay.
We are grateful for her leadership. We are grateful for the way she has taken up the matter. She's being aided by the Honorable Minister for Transport. And what we are aware is that at the level of government, some support will be given. I will leave that to the high-level delegation led by Her Excellency to handle that at their level and at their honor. The last person that is still not found, let me say that search and rescue is going on, and then we hopefully that within the shortest possible time, that last body will also be retrieved. Our condolences to the family, but we hope that once the bodies have been received, the needed cultural and dignified burial ceremonies will be conducted.
Well, yes, Doc, you talked about human factor constituting about 95% of these accidents. Tree stumps. At a point, we had a policy of removing them because they were also causal agents for these accidents. How far with that?
Thank you very much for asking. So that is what I call obstacles. That is ongoing. Over the years, as part of our corporate social responsibility, Ghana Maritime Authority has been spending money on this, and the Ministry of Transport. Let me add that we would wish that it is a larger national effort, but it's almost like we are constructing the roads at sea on our budget. But thankfully, it's something that we have taken as something important and we have been doing. So the tree stump removal is one of the major things, and we will continue to do that. This year, there are certain areas that have been marked, and that will be done. Next year, we'll continue to do that incrementally. Another important thing in the long run is to also have what we call the charting of our inland waterways. Charting means that we should gradually be able to produce the maps that show the water depth, if there are obstacles, and then educate our people. It doesn't take a day to do that. It will take quite a lot. And it is a very expensive endeavor to undertake. But that will also be helpful, especially if we are going to expand the Volta Lake Transport Company. As you are aware, the Volta Lake Transport Company works with bigger ferries. And they, in particular, will need the waterways to be charted so that they can be able to move around. So apart from the tree stumps, one of the future interventions, although highly expensive, is the need for the charting of the Volta Lake. And here the Volta Lakes means the main Volta, but also extend to the Black Volta areas.
Now, Doc, you say that it is expensive. How much has it costed us as a state over the years? And continuously, how much will it cost us annually?
In terms of nominal figures, some studies have shown that we'll probably need over $50 million to completely chart the Volta Lake. So that is why I say it is some money, $50 million to completely chart the Volta Lake or more. So that is quite some money there. In terms of the tree stump removal, it is also something that is costly, but that is being done yearly.
Well, Doc, you talked about these kids. It has become more or less like cultural, where children are allowed to man these boats. What are the regulations, and how do we ensure that at least commercial boats are not manned by kids? Yeah, we are aware that you can have a canoe somewhere where when you come by the river body, you man the canoe yourself. But in this case, an overloaded boat manned by a kid. How is that possible?
Yes, you are right. It is just the cultural thing that happens in the community. Because the people in the community grow with the boat, certain times they started at their very young age, and it is then assumed that the child should be able to man it effectively under all circumstances. That should not be the case. We are working on what we call the inland water regulations, which are going to be laid before Parliament. Just like, for example, the Ministry of Transport is also working on regulations to ensure the safety of Okada and other things. So these regulations will be deepened to provide for certain level of minimum age, also to provide for some level of training, and ultimately for the commercial one, some level of certification. But let me say that ultimately, given how diverse our inland water areas are, our approach is to work more and more with the community leaders. The community leaders, especially the chiefs and opinion leaders, can help a lot in this area. So we are going to also have, and we have started that already, a community leadership drive for safety, so that the community leaders will become part of the discussion and discourse of safety. Well, as I said, ultimately, you are dealing with huge area of water. Certain times people do not even understand the degree of inland water areas that we have in Ghana. Recently, I conducted physically a visit to even those areas in the Black Volta, and you'll be amazed when you go to many of the crossing areas that we have between the Black Volta, Ghana side, and the Burkina side. So we have huge area of inland water, and we cannot police it by ourselves all the time. So the community leaders are one of our best bets, and we are engaging them and making them partners in this.
All right, Doc, thank you very much. We'll leave it here for now. After the visit of the Vice President and Transport Minister, I'm sure afterwards there'll be additional conversations that will come to you for. That's Dr. Kamaldeen Ali, he's CEO of the Ghana Maritime Authority. We'll be having a conversation on the boat incident, quite unfortunate. And Ivy, I mean, you heard him talk about the fact that these issues that have been raised are recurring. Children manning boats, absence of safety gear. I mean, these are recurring.
And it's sad because personally to me, because when the kids died at Wager, I was there when some donations were made, life jackets and what have you, and they were promised a speedboat, right, to make the access to education quite easier. And then before we could have a lid on that, there was a Laura incident where a number of students died as well, crossing a river. And then we are here again, 11 kids gone, 4 adults gone. We told they are returning from a funeral, right?
And I'm sure we all know that this is one of the safest ways of transport.
It ought to be. It ought to be. But something jammed at me. That field is not regulated. And you just heard him relate to the fact that they are now preparing a regulation to go to Parliament to, first of all, institute a minimum age at which you can operate a boat.
It goes a long way to talk about how we prioritize things in this country.
We don't value life
because
that much.
That area is synonymous with water transport.
It's just like airplane, my dear. So just as we don't allow any Tom, Dick, and Harry to fly an airplane, how are we allowing anybody at all to raise the lives of people? But you see, I agree with him that they have to work with the communities. Yes, you might think that culturally, once you are 11 years, you've seen many people man these boats,
so
right? Means of transport, so you can do
that.
But that's not how it ought to be. I dare say that if this was an adult, the story might have been different. Because it comes with more experience. It comes with knowing how to react in the face of danger. Because we were told it was raining. And the water levels were quite high. And here we are.
How do they navigate?
That's the question. And the charting that he talks about, very critical and very important. It's more or less like still again the aviation industry, where there's nothing in the sky, but the pilot knows exactly the route to use. That's what he's talking about. That will cost us about $50 million. Where once you are on the boat, as the operator, you know exactly which routes are safer to use.
Exactly.
Right. So let's find the money and get that done. But in immediacy, let's engage the communities to ensure that kids are not allowed to operate these means of transportations for them to raise the lives of everybody. We are losing too many lives in this regard. And since yesterday, I have spent time to think about the final moment of these 11 kids. Really, I'm sure water might have gotten into your nostrils before. You can imagine how that felt. Now, just imagine the lives of these 11 kids.
You
the final moment.
water entering your nostrils, your mouth, your eyes.
And that's how they
And you are helpless.
Exactly. And this is something that we must not subject our children to.
A country like Ghana. Anyway, that should do for Inside Out. Okay, so let's look at what the newspapers are reporting this morning. Ivy?
Yes. The Daily Dispatch this morning, Ghana to have first ever female president in the near future. That's according to President Mohammed. Yes, so the president at the China Women Conference in Beijing. I remember the Beijing conference.
Yes.
When Nana Kuno Rollins went to Beijing conference, when she came back, you ladies said we should not sit down. No problem. That's just by the way. So the president has once again indicated that very soon, very soon, we are going to see the king, right?
We are going to see the queen.
The queen. Yes, that's a good one. So the president says soon and very soon we are going to see the queen, and of course he's in a chat with a queen. Yeah, whatever meaning you read into this is up to you. My father taught me not to inherit his enemies. That's according to Annette Rollins.
That's a good one.
Yes, I mean, Rollins had many enemies. You know that, right?
Yeah, you don't need to inherit enemies.
So the daughter says, I won't inherit them. So I beg, treat the daughter differently. Ghana's 154 million euros agri support from Italy will transform agri-food systems. That's according to the agri minister, Eric Opoku.
The Ghanaian Times says relief at last. Nurses, midwives to receive 10-month salary arrears. That's according to Health Minister. Cataract tops blindness causes in Ghana. And before we heard it was glaucoma, now cataract. Means that we need to critically be checking our eyes. Ajay Kojo market fire victims send SOS to government. Ghana to have female president soon. I mean, we talked about this a short while ago.
The Daily Graphic this morning, President Mahama calls for transformative action towards gender equality, and government approves hiring of health workers. We're told that 6,500 of them will be paid by next month. 800 doctors have been given clearance to be recruited, and thousands to be employed. Salary arrears to be paid next month, it says. And Brian Champon calls for discipline and unity in NPP. Charles demands prepaid meters in SHS to be to avoid. No, they demand postpaid meters in SHS to avoid disruption. You know, they now use prepaid meters, and it was for a reason, because there were arrears that these schools were not paying. But I think I agree with Charles. If you are implementing free SHS, where the kids are not supposed to pay school fees, I think the state must pay for electricity.
Then it should be
water and electricity should pay for these senior high schools. Yes, that must be done.
Daily Guide, give to Osea and give to your wire charged over NSA theft. KGL Group congratulates Black Stars. 11 children, 4 others die in Ketekranchi boat disaster. Kwewini goes tough on Galamsey operations. Aguna royal family drags the Intra chief to House of Chiefs.
The Chronicle this morning, grumble over missing 2 million Ghana cedis Ghana gas cash. And of course, yes, I'm told, I guess some MDCs are involved there, 2 million cedis cash. So whilst they are grumbling over 2 million cedis, Professor Christopher Amir Kumfi
is also grumbling with 2 million SkyTrain cash.
Yes, and that's in dollars, yes. And so the lawyers are deserting him. He says he has some misunderstanding with the lawyers appear. Yes, but of course he says he will engage the lawyers and then see what happens. Yes, appear Dankwa. KGL Group congratulates the Ghana Black Stars, and yesterday the sports minister was on State of Affairs. He says the foreign groomed players, if they want to come, he has no problem, but the decision rests with the coach. Utuado will determine and decide whether Nketia and Co, Hosinodoy and Co, who want to come back home and come and join us. I think I'm not. I'm receptive to that, right? I won't object to anybody attempting to come and beef up for our squad, because the qualification is different from the Mondial itself. Yes, and quotation for this morning. I think Job 24:16 talks about the fact that in the dark they dig into houses.
Hey.
Yes. Okay, so read the rest, but it's just about more or less like people digging.
Galamsey.
Yeah, Galamsey, yes. And grave diggers as well.
Anyway, that should do for all the newspapers are reporting this morning, and that should do for Inside Out as well. My name is Lady Mohammed. I did this with Ibrahim Alas, and I take a break, and when I return with my guests for the breakfast series. Stay tuned in. You're welcome back to the show. This is still GH Today here on GHOne TV. I am Lily Mohammed. It's now time for the breakfast review. And I've been joined in studio by Atiki Yakubu. He is a member of the NPP Communications team. And Peter Menza. He's the Deputy CEO of the PSC Tema Shipyard. Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
How are we doing?
We're all good.
It's good to have you here. Let's start off with quite an unfortunate incident. I was actually engaging the CEO of the Ghana Maritime Authority a while ago on this, that as a country, we have children manning boats. We're losing needless lives. I think let me start with you.
All right, so good morning to the viewers. And first of all, I'd like to send my condolences to the bereaved families. And it's very unfortunate.
Sure.
I listened to the personnel from the Ghana Maritime Authority. I don't know whether he's the CEO.
That's the CEO.
The CEO of Ghana Maritime Authority. And listening to him, he mentioned the issues of compliance. And he didn't state much on, from my perspective, he didn't state much on what needs to be done more. All right, it was more about dredging, getting more personnel to insist on compliance, which I was listening to him, and in my mind I'm like, you see, you have this vast water body. It's not only that side of the country, same as Afram Plains. You have this vast water bodies, and government doesn't have its own ships on it to convey citizenry. I stand to be corrected on that, but he never mentioned of government having its own vessel to convey people. So if you leave this kind of vast transport sector to the ordinary people who are in those communities operating, and these communities are not communities, excuse me to say, communities that are well-to-do, right? So you will get them just using any form of, they just put some canoe together and they are just moving on it. I saw the videos and I'm like, I will never sit to understand. Yeah, I will never sit to understand. I won't take that chances. But this is where we are, right? And it didn't start today. This has been their mode of transport since the time of independence till date. I think that government should make that conscious effort to get its own vessel if the lives of the people really matters. It's not about MPP government or NDC. This is human life being lost. I don't do politics with issues of security and health. I think that listening to him, he's made certain points. It was more like trying to exonerate themselves of any blame. There was no part that he did admit that, yes, we are also part to blame. Because that's the agent, I mean, they have a mandate. They have this supervisory authority over all these things. He never said, okay, we take the blame for this one. But these are the financial constraints we're having when it has to do with transporting people in this part of the country. He never said anything like that. Never took that blame for it. And this is not the first time this has happened. It's been happening like almost every 2 years. We get mass people dying. When you check on
interestingly, in the last about 4 or 5 years, we've had it occur every year. 2020, 2022, 2023, 2024, and now 2025.
Yes. So, if you are talking about compliance, what it means is that you need to get government fully involved. In getting government fully involved, you need to take off these small boats on these rivers. I don't think that when they place you on that boat, you won't.
I will not.
Yes, and I don't think Peter too will, because Peter likes life. He wants to enjoy his life. And I will also not take that risk. I will also not. No, he's a socialist with the taste of a capitalist. I know him.
Peter.
So I think the government should take up that mandate by providing that boat, because at the end of the day, when these guys sit on these small canoes, they pay. When government also provide them with the boat, they are going to pay. So why don't government provide them with the boat so we can be able to safeguard life? Because it is going to be the same game of circling that people go on it, people get drowned, they are buried, nobody bothers about it, then we come back to the same conversation. The person will be interviewed again, the CEO will be interviewed again, a personnel from that side will be interviewed again, and when he's interviewed, he's going to say the same thing. You know, we are dredging, we are taking sticks from the river and all that. That's what the same story that the person is going to say. So at what point do we come to do we get that kind of solution to the ultimate solution to make sure that these things don't happen again? And the best thing is to get this big vessel to convey them.
Okay.
They are very important. These are lives that are lost, and some of these lives could have been doctors, could have been nurses, could have been some of them could have been ministers, some of them could have been. There could even be a potential president among them. All these lives are gone. All these human resources are gone. People have spent so much money going to school, getting themselves educated. All those people just went down like that. So I think that we need to take that conscious effort, get the vessel for them that can be transporting them. And then that it's just going to be the same story. That they come, we'll spend money over, I think he said 50 million or so.
Yeah, it will cost us $50 million.
50 million to dredge. Not to get a vessel, to dredge. But we can get vessels for those prices too. 5 million, 10 million. He works at the shipyard, so he will know the prices. But we can get vessels for them because even private jets.
Or maybe we can equally do
a
public-private partnership, because there are some people who own boats there, but we need to ensure that safety regulations are in place.
I agree perfectly. I agree. But you see, no matter the compliance, all right, that you enforce, if the right tools are not there, you are going to fail again.
That's true.
You don't have the right equipment, and you say you're going to do compliance. See, he did mention that most of the problem, 90% of the accident had to do with the human aspect of it. Then you ask yourself, 90% has to do with human. So that means that when you get a proper boat, all right, government takes over that sector that is conveying them, it eradicates that part of the 90%. Eradicates it completely, because the person there is not getting the right tool. So if the person is not getting the right equipment, how do you expect the person to be able to get the people transported from one end to the other? He said children are manning the boats and all that, and he still insisted on compliance. If children are manning the boat, what has he been doing over the years? Or what has successful?
That they have personnel who patrol those areas, but they are not enough. So the challenge is we need adequate personnel. We need people to enforce. Because yesterday, in my engagement with the OT regional minister, he mentioned that very often, periodically, they give out life jackets, but the people fail to wear it. It means the people do not have adequate education, do not understand the need of wearing those life jackets.
You see, when it has to do with human lives, and you want to counter it with the ignorance of the people, we are going to still come back to the same issue that people are dying. People just don't like compliance.
I agree.
All right? So we should find the best way to make sure that even if they are not complying that they are supposed to, their life will be safeguarded. And that's the best way is to get them to get the vessel. Government should take over that sector and get the vessel to be transporting them. You see, how many people even put on their seatbelt?
Very good question.
Yeah.
Even for private vehicles.
Yes.
Sometimes you see people driving and their seat belts, alarm keeps beeping.
Yeah.
And they overlook. Police will even stop them and they will even allow them go.
Oh, no,
sometimes at the sight of police, then they drop the seat belts as if they are pulling it in. And then once they cross that, then they release it.
I don't remember the last time police ever stopped people to be checking seatbelts. I don't remember. But like I said, when you want to put the blame on the ignorance of the people or lack of education of the people, you will come back to the same point, same problem. And one thing I've realized in this country is that when the ordinary people die, when the ordinary person die, we will not waste time to make sure that we put up good measures, immediate measures to safeguard this thing from happening again. But the moment the politician dies, and it's closer to, because when the politician dies, it's closer to both parties. They'll be in NPP and NDC. So, come on, that was my friend that I met over the weekend. I had a business meeting with him, and now everything has just gone down. That is when we take issues serious. So, as politicians, we should have the consciousness to also treat the ordinary lives like our life. See, at the end of the day, it is their vote that keeps us in power or that takes us out of power. So the more you are losing life, the more you are losing your votes. And the most precious thing to every politician is not the gold, it's not the diamond, it's the vote. Yeah, it's not even the money. Because the money, there's been times that government in power that is supposed to have more resources loses to the opposition that came with least resources. It's happened several times. So the most important thing to read, the politician should be the human lives. Very, very important. And you cannot build the country with machine. You need the human beings to come in to build the country. So let's try as much as possible to safeguard the lives of our people, irrespective of the community that they come from. Because to some people, this area has just been happening. This year was even better. Last year was even 60, was 70. But this year it's even better. That is some of the excuse that when you go down, you get to hear. This year was even better. Okay. It is our responsibility as a state to provide them with those equipment that they need. Because even in Accra here, all right, where you have a lot of private and commercial vehicles, we still have the metro mass and all that. Moving around. Yeah. These are state sponsored vehicles. All right. So why don't we do it for these people too? Okay. Their lives matter.
Absolutely. Peter, good morning once again.
Good morning. Let me say good morning to our viewers and a special greetings to the President of the Republic of Ghana, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, the Chief of Staff, Honorable Julius Debra, and all the appointees and members of government for the great job they are doing for Mother Ghana. The transformation is enormous. The people of Ghana appreciate the change and the resetting agenda. Okay. And this is what they voted for, and exactly what we are doing. Let me say good morning to my brother. You see, I would give my brother benefit of doubt because he doesn't know much about the marine works and then sea operation. So some of the comments, I would just pardon him on that. Okay. Good morning to all Tamashepi advocates, my boss Alaji Osman Sulemana, and all the operation team. You see, it is important we sympathize with the family. And that is why I sided with our Vice President, Professor Jena Naupopachema, extending condolences to the bereaved family. One life lost is precious to every family. And so for us to wake up one morning to hear that about 15 souls gone just like that, I think it's quite sorrowful, and we need to share in their pain. And so we extend our condolences to the entire family. And when there is an issue, we have immediate solution. Okay. And that's short-term solution. We have a medium-term solution, and then you have the long-term solution. So what I want my brother to understand is that the Director General of Ghana Maritime Authority was trying to profess the immediate or the short-term solutions that we can contain this kind of situation. You see, when you go to the sea, how operations are done on the sea, one of the key things that we emphasize on is compliance, safety compliance. So anybody in the marine industry, we don't joke with safety. It's part of our ISO qualifications and certifications. And so when it comes to compliance, it's very, very key. And observing this incident, like the Director General said, major aspect of this whole thing has to do with non-compliance. The non-compliance issue we are talking of here is that before you go to the boat, you take on the boat, you need to be on your safety measures, especially the life jacket. And in this case, we realize that most of them were not on what? Life jacket. And before you go or you on board a boat, these are critical things that he says that it is human negligence the people must ensure that they are on the life jacket before they go on board on the boat. And there are people who are to enforce that. We have them safety officers. The safety officers, that is what he also said, that they are not adequate. They don't have adequate officers to ensure, because they have to patrol around, moving around. So if the officers are inadequate, if they are not enough, most times it could happen that some of the areas that they need to monitor, because of the number of officers, they may not be able to reach there. And so one incident of this nature happens, we could link it to the fact that there was lack of compliance. Because if there's safety officers, they will ensure that those who are not on lifeboat or life jacket are ensured to be on the life jacket before they go on the boat. And these are critical issues when it comes to marine business and when it comes to the seawork. And this didn't happen. And we are seeing this outcome, which is so painful and sad. And so when Director General is talking about compliance, I think you have to appreciate it from this point. In the meantime, what we have, these are what we have. So these are the machines we have that we are utilizing. So if we have these machines, what do we have to do? We need to take critical look at our safety precautions. How are our people who go onto the boat take precautions serious? If they don't comply, we need to enforce the compliance. Secondly, when you talk about dredging, if you are, once again, if you are in the marine industry and we are talking about dredging, you would appreciate it, because it gives, you know, the sea, you know, the depth of the sea, it goes deeper, because when there's too much sand accumulated, it causes the boat to what? Dive, swerve swiftly. And sometimes we talk about the weather condition. Yesterday, for instance, we received a new vessel into our dock. Before we would bring the vessel inside the dock, the captain, you know, that's the harbor master and the chief pilot, contemplated looking at the weather condition, because when the weather is windy and there's wind blowing, the moment the vessel is on the sea, it swings. And if you are not careful, it can what? Somersault. And that is what happened. So when the weather condition is not safe and you are not on life jacket and the boat turns, no matter what, you will drown. And that's what happened to these people. Should they be on life jacket, at least we know that at least people will be saved. And some of the people that know how to swim, one way or the other, get saved from this kind of incident. One key aspect has to do with the seafarers. When we have seafarers, and that is why I want to salute my Captain Thomas and his team. When we have the seafarers on the sea, they mostly save this kind of situation.
But do we have enough seafarers? Because I am a Tema girl. Growing up, I used to hear of them a lot.
Exactly. But in recent times, it's now that under President Mohammed's regime, he has prioritized them. And then through the office of Gusitano, Gusitano, that's he's in charge of the 24-hour economy. They are looking at, when it comes to the marine industry, how best they can really help the seafarers be properly equipped with all the tools and training that they needed to be able to take care of some of this situation. Because I'm telling you, the service of the seafarers is so important as far as the marine works and the sea works is concerned. So I believe that incidents like this is a wake-up call on authorities to prioritize some of these areas. Our seafarers, they are there. And it's one of the areas we can create a lot of employment for the youth. When we train on some of these young men, they will be there and they are ready. When you go to Tema, like you made mention of, when you go to Tema, these young men are there and they are ready to work. But they just need that kind of training and capacity building to be able to do their operations on the sea. So these are areas, before you come to your long-term solution, suggestion that we building boat ourselves. And if you could recall, my last engagement with you here on Tema Shipyard, I told you that one of the key objectives of our operation is to go into shipbuilding and fabrication. So that is a long-term. Yeah, I told you that's our long-term strategy. And then we are looking at a strategic private partnership, the PPP that you mentioned, and that's what we are trying to work on, and it's a process, and it's in tandem with government vision, President Mohammed's vision to really revamp Tema Shipyard. So we have a process that we are, we've started to ensure that we have that partnership, so that Ghana will be a center of shipbuilding and fabrication, whereby we have boats being fabricated in Ghana here. So I think I want you to get this. Dr. Kwame Nkrumah built Temasek
but are you giving me timelines to these?
Oh, last time I told you second half of the President Mama's administration, in the second year.
That's 2026.
Yes, that's 2026. Hopefully,
but I mean, we're ending 2025, so by now, I'm sure there should be some. I told you there
are processes and engagement on that.
But that's about. We've been having. When did I engage? About 4 or 5 months ago.
Finance Minister has serious principle. So in terms of some of this engagement, we have to do due diligence before we go into, because previously I told you that there have been a lot of engagement, partnership here and there, which didn't yield the needed results that we needed as a country. But Dr. Kwame Nkrumah established the Tema shipyard purposely for shipbuilding and fabrication, aside the dry docking management. The late president, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, established that in West Africa and even Africa, if we are looking for one of the effective and efficient shipbuilding companies or shipyard in the sub-region, it should be Ghana. And that is the vision President John Dramani Mahama really want to revisit. And the processes has begun already. And as I said, in the second year during this administration, you will get some good news on that. So I think to alleviate your fears on then your concern about we haven't building our boat, these processes have begun. And it takes political will to ensure that, yes, given some of these incidents and what have you, it is important we fast track the processes to ensure. In the meantime, someone will say, why don't we acquire? When you go to other places, people try to acquire, but it's important if we have a shipyard that the system has been established to be able to fabricate boats and ships in the country. Why don't we invest in that and then have a concrete shipbuilding and fabrication center in the country, which will be an advantage as far as our dry docking business in the sub-region and even beyond is concerned. Most countries in the sub-region want to have a country in the region that is into shipbuilding and fabrication, because the demand is there. The demand is there in the sub-region, but there's no country that is attempting that. And like I told you, Ghana, we happen to have the biggest shipyard because of our dry docking center and the space that we have. We have the biggest. So in one way or the other, we should be the beacon of that in the industry. And I can assure you that myself and my able CEO, Alhaji Osman Sulemana, and our sector minister, Honorable Joseph Nikpe, we are in constant engagement on these processes. And very soon, the results will be known to Ghanaians. But in the meantime, compliance is very key. And I want to admonish all those who uses those in the coastal areas to adhere to the compliance measures, the safety measures when they are going on board. It is for our own good.
But in admonishing them, shouldn't the sector also be critically looking at enforcement?
That is why the Director General indicated that the investigations are ongoing and they are going to come out with their findings and come out with pragmatic measures to ensure that that's because one key point he mentioned has to do with the officers. So it's also a wake-up call for government support to ensure that we increase the number of officials as far as safety is concerned at the coastal areas. So some of these things, when it comes to enforcement, because someone must enforce. So if you don't have the officers who will do the enforcement, it's also a challenge. So I believe as part of the measures that the Director General will be talking about, one of the key areas has to do with we increasing the officers in the area who will ensure the safety measures that we are trying to talk about here.
Absolutely. I think I know you have a few things you want to add, but let me take a break. Let me take a break. I'll be back shortly. So please note more points down. Back shortly. Anyway, you're welcome back. The things that go on behind the scenes, you would love it. Anyway, back to the breakfast review. My guests are still here. Atik and Peter are still here. We're talking about the unfortunate boat incident on the Kratchi River, which claimed 15 lives. 11 of them were children. One person still unaccounted for. Search and rescue efforts are underway, and then 4 persons were rescued. Atik, you say you have a few battles. Let's quickly do that in 2 minutes, then we can talk about the national service.
So Peter did speak about the long term and the short term. See, I understand where Peter is coming from. He's coming from the sector where he is a deputy CEO of one of the agencies. So I do understand where he's coming from. We all been in the public service before. I do understand where he's coming from. But you see, he did mention something about he might pardon me on certain things that has to do with compliance and safety. Peter, I've been a safety officer for more than 8 years. So I do understand that, you see, you can enforce safety in an environment like this. But in a community like that, when you enforce it so much, it becomes a problem, and they might not even comply. And he's talking about, his CEO was talking about limited human resources. Agreed. But are you going to wait for another disaster to happen again? Because another disaster, God forbid, can happen tomorrow. It can happen even today. So he's saying that getting the vessel, government bringing in a vessel as soon as possible, being a long-term solution. That's why I disagree with him. It should be a short-term solution. Because let's say you are going to dredge this whole place. It can take you about 2 to 3 months, 4 months going. But with an order, you can get these vessels in to start transporting them. And when I checked on the internet, it doesn't cost that much. It doesn't cost that much. The $50 million that they are going to use in dredging this whole place could be used to get the vessels for them as soon as possible, before they even think of now coming to dredge. Because when you dredge, and you still have these small boys being on it, or people who are so much over age on it, people are not checking compliance on who's taking alcohol, and it's not right to be on it. So, like I said, if you want to base on the ignorance of the people and say that people are ignorant about it, they needed to have enforce safety and compliance, we will still get it wrong. We will get it right. We will need to just get them the mode of transport, which is very viable and is proper. Because like I said, he will not go sit in that canoe. It's not as if they have some vessels, big vessels, that this problem are still occurring. These are canoes. Even the change of weather can cause a lot. Strong winds can cause a lot. So just get them the vessel. Simple. Issue of compliance and safety to these people will take you years. It takes you years for them to now adhere to compliance and safety. People don't change like that. From their ways of life, these are people who were from their childhood. They also have their superstitions around.
Exactly.
All these things are all part. So it is our responsibility to make sure that there is a counter to when they do not comply. If they do not comply, what is the measure? Get them the vessel. At long run, they are in. If they are not complying, if you can enforce strict, 100% compliance, and you cannot enforce 100% compliance in those areas. Forget that he is a politician. People don't like rules. Ghanaians don't like rules. The moment you make so much rules for them, they take it as, okay, you are now trying to impugn upon their freedom. Let's say if the police mount barriers all across, and they say they are checking licenses, they are checking for seatbelt, people are being penalized, they will form a drivers union to counter you. So it will be good on our part as politicians to make sure that to safeguard us from being threatened with, vote for you, you guys are arresting our people for non-compliance and all that. Just get them the vessel. It's as simple as that.
So Lily, Aristotle once said that human beings with our laws, we are the worst form of animals. And that is what I want to take to understand. Irrespective, the law must be there. whether some people will not comply or will comply. The law must be there. A minute, I was quiet.
Please allow him.
In this conversation, what I was expecting you to do is for us all to admonish the people to comply with the regulations. At the end of the day, it's their life. As much as you are professing that we should get boats, of course, this is a committed government who is ready to acquire these things for the people and for the industry. Okay. You have been in power for 8 years. You did not do any of these things. We are demonstrating that we are committed to do this. At this very hour, I am talking about immediate solution. What do we have to do? Let's admonish the people to comply with the rules and regulations. Wearing of a life jacket, should it be a difficult thing for people to do? To save your own life? When safety officers are there, they are to enforce the law. They are to enforce. You and I, this is governance. You should join forces with me in we calling out the people to adhere to the directives of the safety officers in the various coastal areas. We should not be hammering on the fact that they will not comply. They will not. That is why we are here to encourage them.
In this instance, Peter, does it suggest that there were safety officers there? It doesn't suggest they were there.
That's what I'm saying. That the Director General has indicated that he has a gap in terms of officials, and that is one of the pointers he has brought out. And I'm saying that immediately. These are some of the measures we can take to fill in the gap. So we are talking about the immediate solution to this incident that has happened. And then let me just once again share this for my brother to be abreast with some of these things. Dredging is very, very important. You can get new boats right now. If the place are not dredged, this new boat can have this same accident. If you don't know. So the dredging the Director General is talking about is very important. Go and ask in the marine industry. They will tell you. You can bring new boats. You can go and buy new boats. If the place is not dredged, the new boat can equally have the accident.
Can I come in now?
So, hold on. You see, when you are making suggestions, don't rubbish an aspect because they go concurrently. Maybe for better, for lack of information about the operations there, you may talk about that. Suggest what you want to suggest. But don't create an impression that going to dredge the place is not important as going to buy a boat. Because I'm telling you that you can go and buy the boat and the boat will go on the sea. If the place is not dredged, this accident can occur. So it is important that we pick first and first. I am talking about we ensuring the safety precautions. People comply with the safety precautions. We ensure that we have enough officers who will be monitoring the place, who will be enforcing the regulations that are set in the various coastal areas. We need to ensure that the dredging system goes on. And it is important government show commitment in ensuring that we have these boats in the various places as well. And I have indicated that there are processes to ensure that we have all this. I think the least you could do is to commend the fact that I am giving you all this information and also impress on us to make it happen. Because you didn't do it, and I'm telling you we are going to do it. And this is what we've done so far. This is how we've started. So you should rather be commended government because you didn't do. Why you couldn't do, that's what we are doing now. You should commend us. And let's admonish the people in the various coastal areas that when they are going on board on any vessel, when you come to our yard, for instance, safety measures is very, very key. Before you go on board on a vessel that is even on dock, you need to be in your PPEs. Without your PPEs, you cannot go to our yard. The moment you get to the security point, the first thing they give you is your PPEs. And these are compliance measures that it shouldn't be, we cannot compromise on this. We should enforce. And when you and I get opportunity like this, the best we could do is call on the people, encourage them, admonish them, so that they can ensure it's their life and it's our life. They are our people, they are our family members, and we need to ensure their safety.
So there's a difference between what it is and what it should be. All right, what it is.
I like this.
No, what it is that
what it should be.
I did make a comment. I did state that in case they are not complying, what is the best way? What's the best solution to safeguard all these things from happening again? That's what I said. In case they are not complying. Because if if you bring the people on them, all right, and for some political expediency, you trying to make sure that you don't push them so hard that it tends to be like government versus them or the dissect versus them. What is the best way? What's the best solution? The best solution is, I'm saying that get them the vessel. Those ones, he did mention that they are long terms, and I said those things actually be long term. Should rather be short term. Also, he also did mention that we didn't do. He kept on hammering on it. We didn't do it, and we didn't do it over these years. And they are here. They are here. So I should be commending them. Commending you for what? You haven't done it. I will do it. It's not the same. It's not the same as I've done it. And also, let me learn. You are blaming us for not doing it. We didn't. That river there wasn't created yesterday. It was created. It's been there since the beginning of this country called Ghana. Successive government from your 92 to 2000. All right, from your 2008 to 2016. You didn't do it. But I did say from the beginning. I said I do not do politics with security and health because God forbid. If I'm working and I get a heart attack and I'm rushed to the hospital, they wouldn't ask the political party I belong to before they take care of me.
Absolutely. Let's talk about the issue of the National Service Authority. Yesterday, news broke that two persons, that's the former director and then his deputy, Osesi Entry and Gifty Mensa, have both been charged. Now, Osesi Entry has been charged with 14 counts, stealing, causing financial loss to the state, and then money laundering. And then Gifty has been charged with stealing, willfully causing financial loss to the state, and then money laundering. Peter, let me start with you. The first one I started with him.
Thank you so much. Lily, it is important we note the fact that the people of Ghana voted vehemently for President John Dramani Mahama and the NDC on one of the key indicators to fight against corruption.
Okay.
And one of our main pointers, as far as the fight against corruption was concerned during our campaign, was oral.
Okay.
And Ghanaians are going to hold us to account on how oral fares in our administration. In fact, there are a lot of people who, when you engage them or they engage you, they will tell you, if President Mahama's administration is able to prosecute these corrupt officials during the past administration, they are good to go with our government. And so we owe it a duty to ensure that the very reason why Ghanaians voted for us will live to that expectation. And that is exactly what is happening right now. You see, it is sad that officers who have been entrusted with the state agency can create, loot, and share the very fund that they are supposed to use to, man the affairs of an agency to the benefit of the citizen, siphon to themselves. National Service Authority and our sister Gifty Owari, I would say it was a clear case of abuse of power.
Okay. But she was not the head.
No.
She was a deputy.
No.
Okay.
It was a clear case of abuse of power. The head, the deputy, and then Honorable Asibe. A clear case of abuse of power. Because if you look at the cases and the count, number one, causing financial loss to the state. Number two, stealing. And you see, when you look at Honorable Asibe's cases, on 7 counts, causing financial loss to the state. 7 counts. So on 7 occasions, there was indication that his act or his action was causing financial loss to the state. On 7 occasions. On 6 occasions, he was in an act indicating that he was stealing from the state coffers. And in similar act applicable to Gifty Owari. We have days and times that National Service personnel complain bitterly about the allowances. Delays in allowances, unpaid allowances. Recently, some of the nurses that went on demonstration Some of them were complaining that 2023 they went on, they did their national service and they were not paid. Meanwhile, we had some people being classified as ghosts were receiving allowances. You and I know very well that when we are talking about ghosts are in the cemetery. So while well-meaning youth were working assiduously for their country, hoping to get their allowances, they were deprived of their allowances. Meanwhile, ghosts in the cemetery were receiving allowance. And when you look at Gift Owari case, the case of using public office for private gain, he used 9,000 ghost names to serve as guarantor to get a loan from ADB in the name of National Service Personnel Marketplace. And take note here, this 9,000 people that she used as service personnel to guarantee her to get the loan from ADB, they were not existing national service personnel. They were ghost people at the cemetery. At that very moment, our service personnel were weeping, crying that their service allowance was not being paid. This is wickedness. This is wickedness, and at this moment, I want to comment upon it. Because Ghanaians were calling. When are you pressing charges? When are we seeing prosecution? President John Dramani Mahama, during his encounter with the media, made mention of the fact that we don't want a situation where people will come out and say we are harassing people. We are witch hunting people. And therefore, we are trying to do due diligence with the process. We want to ensure that processes are duly followed. And so when we are bringing prosecution, when people are being charged, it will be charged on legitimate grounds. And that is what we have started. And so now, they have been pressed with the charges. They are going to court. They need to go and answer. Gifty Owari would answer the 38 million Ghana cedis that has cost, that has been a financial loss to the state, what she did with that 38 million Ghana cedis. Gifty Owari need to answer to the people of Ghana those 9,000 ghost names. Those 9,000 ghost names. How did she fabricate that 9,000 ghost name? How can you sit in a high office that it is for the youth, it's meant for the youth? The youth finish their 4-year schooling and they have a mandatory service to their country and there's supposed to be an allowance given to them. Some of them were deprived of this allowance at the expense of ghosts at the cemetery. And somebody must answer this question. And the people of Ghana are really and keenly following this issue to know the end of it. How she's going to go to court and answer to these very critical cases or charges that have been pressed against. I'm telling you, should the court's case end and the people of Ghana seeing someone jailed out of this act, that day it will be a day of jubilation in this country. Because we are trying to hold people to account. The probity and accountability that we preach to the people of Ghana, they would understand and appreciate that, yes, a president has come, yes, a government has come, that is holding people who have perpetrated this calamity on the people of the country to account. We are holding them to account to give confidence, to repose confidence in governance, because people have given up on our governance system because of lack of accountability, because of cover-up system that have experienced in the past administration, where you get a leadership trying to be a clearing agent of people that engage in corrupt practices. This is a government. This is a new president who even has cautioned his appointees that should you be caught in any of the act, you'll be brought to book. And the law will deal with you applicably just like any other person, irrespective of who you are. And this is the confident people are looking out for. And President Mahama has assured you people, nobody can interfere in the work of ORA. Nobody will interfere in the work of ORA. So we know that, number one, the national service case is ongoing. The Sky Train case is ongoing. The National Signal Bureau case is also ongoing. We will have National Service, National Cathedral case also coming up. Chamawuntumi case is also ongoing. He has also been pressed with charges. And all these are cases that are coming up. And President Mama indicated that out of 200 oral cases, 80 of them have been investigated. And charges are going to be pressed. And that's what we are seeing now. So kindly give us some time. We are on this, and we are going to execute for the good people of Ghana. And we are going to prosecute all these people who created, who looted, who shared public funds that were supposed to be used, number one, to pay service allowances, number two, to create, construct roads, to construct hospitals, to make sure that our education system is stable for people, to ensure that we build the economy, stabilize the economy in a way that the people of Ghana will be relieved from the various burdens that previous government. And that is exactly what President Mama is doing for the people of Ghana. Whilst we are trying to stabilize the economy, and then you and I can attest to the fact that now our city depreciation appreciation issue, now it is stabilized for a very long time now. We are around 12, between 12 and 12.4.
Yes, yesterday it was hovering around 11.9 or 11.8.
And that is what President Mama, during his engagement, he told the media that he is looking between 10 and 12. That will stabilize the city around between 10 and 12. And that is exactly what is happening. When we are channeling the resources into judicious use, at the end of the day, it will reflect in the life of people. It will reflect in our daily businesses, and businesses will grow. But if we have individuals and personnel, government officials who decide to siphon state coffers, state money, at the end of the day, the detriment, the effect is that the people will be suffering. And today, this government that is showing competence, a government that is showing political will to deal with this issue. And let me commend President John Dramani Mahama for demonstrating that political willingness to fight corruption. And Gift Yowari and Honorable Asibe's case is one of the clear cases of our commitment and the willingness to fight corruption in this country. And let me sound it. You see, President Mahama sounded a caution that we are coming after all those people.
Okay.
So be rest assured as a citizen of this country that when it comes to oral, we are not compromising on our action on oral cases.
Okay.
This case, the charges has been meted against them.
Preferred.
Prosecution will start very soon. People are going to go to jail. That's what Ghanaians want to know. You know, Musa Dankwe's new poll that came out. The rating that went down, it was as a result of people displeasure over the fact that we are not jailing the previous officers who siphoned state money.
So is it just about a jailing spree?
That they want that.
Or sanitizing the system?
Sanitizing, jailing people who deliberately, intentionally siphon state money at the expense of the ordinary young nurse out there on the street that her allowance was not paid, though she worked for the country for years or for months, but the allowance was not paid to her. Meanwhile, people in the cemetery, some ghosts were enjoying the allowance at the cemetery. People want such people to go to jail. When such prosecution happens, I tell you, there will be jubilation in this country, and wait for that day.
Okay, I think.
Lily, politics can be about sentiments. It can be about your emotions. When it comes to the law, it's about facts. So Peter can be so sentimental. He can actually go in the way of his celebrity attorney general who just come to do the press statement, put up some words there.
How do you refer to the Attorney General as
He's a celebrity Attorney General. And I'll tell you why. I'm coming to the issues. Why I say he's a celebrity Attorney General. He just comes there for the cameras, speak nice English, and he goes off. It's been 8 months. So far, it's just been this case that they've been able to, this case and that of the former, the NIB
National Signal
Bureau. Yeah, just these 2 cases. That's what they've taken to court. Now, let me state this emphatically clear. I do not support any corruption or condone any level of corruption. I do not support it, right? Because I believe that it is my taxes that are taken and placed in the coffers of the state for all of us to benefit, that someone will allegedly take. So I do not support any out of corruption. I know you pay income tax. I also pay income tax. And when you check your pay slip and you see the amount of money that is taken, it gets you angry at times. But you have to pay for the development of the state. So I do not condone any act of corruption. But then again, I do believe that people's rights should be respected. Very important. The reason why I call the Attorney General a celebrity Attorney General is because pick the first case of Edubuahem. He came out, made so many noise about it, without even checking to see the counter from his side, whether he did have a solid case or not. He now goes to court, and every week we are seeing different twists to the issues. I think last month he was being, the defendant's lawyer asked them to present the modus operandi of disbursement of national security monies over the period, how they've been doing over the period. They refuse to bring it because they know that the moment they bring it, it kills their case. So if it's been the modus operandi over the years, then why are you now going after this person with this one? Is it based on somebody's sentiment or somebody's dislike for the guy that he decided to throw him to the wolves, and Attorney General also took it on? These are the questions that are now coming out from the court. All right. So, Peter, you can make all the rounds that you want. You can say whatever you want. But at the end of the day, when you go to court, it should be beyond reasonable doubt, and you have to prove that yes, indeed, these monies were really used for this. Because on Edubuahin's case, there was a point that we all thought that he transferred money into his bank account, but we later realized that it wasn't so. So, for me, like I said, I do not support corruption. I do not condone corruption. But you see, over the years, since 2004, that has been the NDC's mode of punishing past officials of the MPP or officials of the MPP when it has to do with elections. And they went to state their oral thing. We didn't tell them to go bring up any oral thing. They decided to set up their oral committee and an oral campaign. And the Operation Recover All Loot, which I know at the end, by 2028, is going to be Operation Recover Absolute Nothing, because I'm not going to recover anything out of it. It was just political talk and political sentiments. Take the issue of Wontumi, for instance. When he was first arrested, money laundering, case of stealing, they nearly even gave me international espionage and all that. Today, when they filed their docket, what was it? Galamsey that you guys are also doing. The crime that you are saying that somebody perpetrated, taking him to court, is something that you are also doing. You are still doing. As it stands now, you are still doing. Pick the issue of I've stated that one of Edubuahem, and on the issue of Gifty and ACB, if the court finds them beyond reasonable doubt that they were culpable, the law will have to work. But I'm saying that people's right needs to be protected and respected. Just don't give a dog a bad name and just hang it. No, it shouldn't be that way. It should be, let them go through the system, let them go through the course. In 2004, NDC alleged over 100 corrupt cases against President Kufuor. 2004, you can Google, you see, 2004, the 2004 campaign, over 100. It was captured in the Herald, over 100 corrupt cases. Nobody from Kufuor's era was arrested and jailed. Though they came to power in 2000 and they tried whichever way, nobody was arrested and jailed. They made Ghanaians believe that the moment they took over, Kufuor was going to jail. Steve Asamabatin was going to jail. The former chief of staff, Mpieni, was also going to jail. Are they in jail now? It's not about your sentiments.
Are you by the saying that you are certain that before or by end of the 4-year mandate of President Mahama, no Akufo-Addo appointee will be jailed?
What I'm saying is that it's not about my sentiments. It's not about his sentiments. But history is there. And from 2004, it's always about, everybody is corrupt. The president is corrupt. The vice president is corrupt. The ministers are corrupt. We are going to arrest all of them and jail them. You haven't been able to do it from 2004 to 2008 election and throughout all your tenure in government from 2008 to 2016. You couldn't even catch even a foul and place it in the hen coop and say you've been arrested. You couldn't even do it. Is that the same talk? Is that the same talk, same script that they bring over the period, and they have different actors like he's sitting there, and now a different actor for the same script. Now I said in 2008, when they won, 2009, There were arrests all over the country. There was even an incident. Remember, there was an incident where people were even pelted with tear gas, and one person died. Mechanical died. All these things have happened before. We were witnesses to it. So I am saying that when you get to the court, it's not about your emotions. It's not about what you say to make your base feel happy or excited. It's about the facts. Look, MPP tried jailing Opuni. It took us more than 8 years. Now, the chief clearing agent, he said Kupadu was a clearing agent. The chief clearing agent came, and he's cleared all of them. And talk about clearing.
But look, if you say clearing, for 8 years, you could not find anything to pin him with.
That's why I'm saying that. It is not about your sentiments. It's about the facts and the legal process.
So were you on a sentimental journey?
I'm saying it's not about my sentiments. All right, I've been there. So I'm saying it's not about sentiments. It's about facts. I wasn't the Attorney General. All right. So it's not about the sentiment. It's about the fact. The facts were that we were not able to get it through because of one technicality, because of the counterfact they also will bring. Because what we see here is that of the Attorney General. We haven't seen the defense attorneys too. Look, you talk about clearing. When you came to power, all right, cases that you have cleared, and Deputy Governor of Bank of Ghana, you discontinued the case. Was it not clearing? Why didn't you continue for the court to exonerate them? Check over sample and they do the Kwekubahem cleared. A discontinued case, AG versus Japa and Ato Forsen cleared. Opuni dropped. Collins Dowda dropped. Ernest Thompson and 3 others freed. So, my brother, you see, you can't talk about clearing. You don't have the moral to talk about clearing because there were already corrupt cases that were being prosecuted. And you came, you didn't even allow them, you didn't even pretend to say, let us even withdraw some of the prosecuting evidences so that the case will be recap for the court to even clear them. You dropped them. So you don't have the moral right to talk about corruption.
Okay, gentlemen. Unfortunately, I'm out of time.
You take cases, and for years you have no evidence, no proper charges. And we have critical issues to attend to. You want us to waste our time on
So who determined the critical issues?
If you had evidence, why
Anyway, gentlemen, thank you very much. That's for the breakfast review. That's Peter Mensah. He's Deputy CEO of the PSC Tema Shipyard. And then Atik Yakubu is a member of the NPP communications team. Anyway, Atik, you are contesting the National Youth Organizer position. How's that going? How's grounds? Fertile?
I'll win. And he knows when I say I'll win.
Peter,
he knows.
Are you sure he will win? Are you supporting him?
We won at Abides is a good brother. So in the party, in fact, one of the fine gentlemen they can have. It's just diabolic. So yes. As for their party, he's one of the fine gentlemen.
But you're not contesting against Salam. Salam is going up.
No, Salam is going up. He's about 40. Okay. So ours is below 40. So Salam is technically.
Going for the national
I call him an old man now. He doesn't want to hear that.
Interestingly, this is an AUCC alumni. Anyway.
I am a late one.
Okay. All right. We're back shortly. Yeah, welcome back. Once again, this is still G today here on GHOne TV. It's time for Hard Talk. On Hard Talk this morning, I've been joined by a lady who sprang up onto our screens. A lot of people don't know anything about her. They know her to be very vocal. Some call her violence lady. But is she that violent? To find out. My guest this morning is a presidential staffer, Beatrice Ananfio Esquire. Good morning.
Good morning to you, Lily. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy. I think this is the first time you're hosting me.
Yes.
Yes. Normally, I think it was Lantam who was hosting me. So I'm happy to be here. It's been long.
Yeah.
And you people should be inviting me.
You abandoned us.
No, I didn't. I think your producer should take notes and be inviting me. They don't invite me.
Well, unfortunately, it is beyond my producer's control. It is your party. So it means that you abandoned us.
It's my party. I'll talk to Peter. Peter doesn't do well. I'm happy to be
Anyway, Beatrice Ananfio Esquire, how long have you been a lawyer?
7 years.
7 years at the bar. How has it been?
Oh, it's been prosperous. I have no regrets at all being a lawyer.
So there's this debate about too many lawyers in Ghana now. Do you share?
No, I don't think so. I think there are too many doctors as well. There are too many accountants. I think maybe lawyers do more photo shoots on the day they are called, and that's why it creates the impression. But as long as people are still reaching out and saying that, can you recommend a lawyer to me because you don't go to court any longer, shows that many people still don't have access to lawyers. And it's because of how we practice the law here. You are either in the courtroom or head of legal or in some corporate organization. Otherwise, the law is just something you have to leverage. So if you watch BBC, there are reporters who are lawyers so that they can do proper courtroom reporting. But here, it doesn't add anything if you were a journalist or you were a medical doctor or so. But I don't think we are producing too many lawyers. I think people should be allowed to achieve their dreams.
I agree.
People should be allowed to do what they want to do. Eventually, you will find your feet. Even among the lawyers, they know the good lawyers and the bad lawyers. They know the people who survive the law and the people who don't survive. So let everybody be a lawyer, and we'll eventually find our feet. I don't think we should restrict in any way.
Now that we talk about the law, they say the law is the law. Was the NDC intentional in ousting Gertrude Sakitokunu?
I don't think that the NDC even ousted Gertrude Sakitokunu. I don't think so. I keep saying that I have the privilege of working closely with President Mohammed, the presidency. And I can tell you on authority, when the NDC assumed power, we had a number of priorities on our table, how to stabilize the currency, how to make sure that macroeconomic indicators like inflation and a number of things are back on track. Removal of the Chief Justice was never one of them.
Why were your people excited on social media? I'm sure you have seen a lot of them jubilant about her removal. Why is it important for the NDC?
I don't have any data to support why people were jubilant. But what I can say is that for me, the removal is a call to all of us in public office. That merely because you occupy a certain position does not mean you have immunity. At least the Chief Justice is not being prosecuted. You get it? And every procedure was followed. I had the opportunity to talk about that, and I said that no lawyer could point to anything bad that was being done or in breach of any provisions of the law. I think that the Chief Justice herself gave a certain decision in the Bronya case that said that what she did could not be done. And I don't think that we should be misapplying the law and be saying that because Beatrice works with the president, when something happens, Beatrice is not responsible. That kind of society is a very dangerous society.
Okay.
Because people just have to do politics or have to get into a certain position as immunity. I don't think we should countenance that at all. Rather, we should be saying that we applaud the president who is courageous. You remember that President Mohammed is on record to have removed his own appointee, or an NDC appointee, Madame Vivian Lamte. President Mohammed is on record. President Anado has removed a chief justice. I mean, an electoral commissioner, and today a chief justice has been removed. And so,
was it payback? No, for the removal of Charlotte Osei?
No, I don't think that.
Because every time, sorry to cut it, every time the issue of the removal of the CJ comes up, then the NDC communicators say, oh, but President Akufo-Addo removed Charlotte Osei. They are not at par, are they?
I don't think every time that issue came up, we responded that way. I think every time the MPP spoke up, we just said, or we reminded them that at the time you were doing this, and this was your argument, what has changed? But I don't think that it was revenge. Charlotte Osei is not a member of the NDC.
Is she not?
No, she's not a member of the NDC. So
you say she's not?
Yeah, she's not. She has been an electoral commissioner. She couldn't have been a card-bearing member of the NDC. So it's not as if because Charlotte Osei has been removed, then we should have been removing the EC and not the Chief Justice.
But there are rumor mongering going around that you are also interested in the removal of the electoral commissioner and her deputies.
In fact, in very recent times, I've rather heard the MPP calling for the removal of the electoral commissioner. It's very interesting. So maybe the call is not just by some members of the NDC, the MP. I think that's about the only thing that both political parties agree on. But like as I said, the priority of government is not this. I think that the government of the day is committed to making sure that the lives and livelihoods of people are better. Because you can remove an electoral commissioner. In the last election, the electoral commission demonstrated their clear biases towards the MPP. They did a lot of things in their favor. They refused to audit the register. But when the people of Ghana spoke, their verdict was over 1.7 million. And so no electoral commissioner can save you in itself if the people are not happy with you. So the government currently is committed to making sure that people are satisfied, people see progress, people see what the government is doing, so that when you go back to the polls, you don't have to worry about who the electoral commissioner is. At best, you would want a fair electoral commissioner so that you know that your good works will pay off. Otherwise, it is not the priority of government to remove an electoral commissioner.
You say progress and satisfaction, two keywords. On President Mohammed's return, one of the critical, or two of the critical areas he hinged on was integrity and fight against corruption. Oral, much touted. Where are we? Yesterday, the Attorney General says he's charged 2 people. Already, there's the Sky Train and there's the National Signals Bureau. But people say, have you read comments on social media?
Yeah,
people say, we are tired of the rhetorics. Are you also embarking on rhetorics?
You see, President Mills made a certain statement that the wheels of justice grind slowly. And so sometimes in our quest to punish corruption, we also have to be careful not to violate the very constitution that gives us the basis to punish the corruption. And so I can understand the impatience, but I also want us to look at the conversation from this angle. For almost 10 months, I mean, we are in the 10th month, there is no scandal about people misappropriating state funds.
Is it not early days yet?
Whether it's early days or not, for the 9 months, the people of Ghana can be assured that your taxes you pay are being put to good use. So at least you put an end or some embargo on corruption. That also is oral. While we are doing that, it's not as if the government has put the work on hold. But we are saying that we do not want to go to court for the courts to say that you did not bring us evidence, because in courts, the rule of the game is evidence. And so it's important that you gather watertight approach. Sometimes when the defense sees even
the slightest loophole,
what we call the discovery, the documents and all that, they would then ask for a plea bargain because the lawyers will advise that. So when you do a very good job, you would not have the difficulty. Because you see, in MPP's time, what they did was that they just wanted to put people behind bars. And so they just went to court because they wanted to give people bad names, like the Opuni trial. And we saw judges. I had the privilege of being in the NCA case, and even though they secured conviction, those cases do not really reflect, principles of criminal law and all that. And a lot of procedures were sidestepped. And we criticized the court for those things. We do not want to be the very things we criticize. We do not want to undermine the independence of the judiciary, where an attorney general will call a judge and say, do this. We don't want to do that, because you can't build a good society that way. And for everything we criticized about the MPP, we don't want to be like them. The MPP is not our standard. And so we are trying to put together a watertight case. I am in constant communication with the YOCO boss, asking, are you making progress? And you see, the angle that the oral brings is not just to give conviction. How would you have known that Mr. Dubois had almost 39 houses? We are also interested in asset recovery. We are interested in recovering the loot that has been stolen. So it's not just parading people in court and then having good speaking points, and then when I come here, I can rattle to you, oh, we've done this and we've put this in court. No. Because ultimately, the reason the people want the oral is, yes, we want people punished for the wrong, but we want the monies back so we can build schools. We want the monies back so kids can have textbooks. We want the monies back so that when people go to the hospital, NHIS will be working. We want to see a very functioning society. And if you jail the people, some of the offenses, the minimum is 5 years. They'll go 5 years and they'll come back and spend the money. There is a story I was told about, and someone who duped a very big man in the MPP government. And he was threatened that he will be jailed. And he said, for the money I have with me, if I go 5 years and come, I will enjoy, because if I work, I will never have that money in 5 years. And so I'm prepared to go to prison. So we don't want people to say that, okay, let me take as much as I can. The worst that can happen is that I'll go to prison and come back and enjoy. So even tracing the assets, recovering the assets, because normally, if you know money laundering well, they layer it. And so you don't get the direct access. You need to do some tracing. You need to do, it's a bit nuanced. So I want Ghanaians again to keep faith with the NDC government.
Are you saying that with the cases you're going to court with now, they are airtight?
Yes. The cases are very airtight.
And you're going to recover loot as well.
Yes.
Because you've talked a lot about Operation Recover All Loot. We are going to prosecute some members of the NPP. And at some point on campaign platforms, a number of your communicators were singing the same song. But 10 months down the line,
we are recovering. You see, we are recovering the loot. We are prosecuting people. What we don't want to do is to compromise and violate the rights of people. As I speak to you, Akunta Mine and Wontumi, it's in court. As I speak to you, Dubois and the Sky Train, and now the National Service, Gifty, Owari, and all that, they are in court. What we don't want to do is just parade people, and then in 4 years, we come back to say, oh, the court cleared them. So I want people to be paid. I can understand the impatience. I can, normally clients don't know how slow the system is until they really come into contact with the court system. And this Attorney General has been very fast, because in the NCA trial, it took MPP more than 4 years. Remember, for 8 years, MPP could not even prosecute Opuni. And then we were back. So I want people to appreciate that this government...
And then you were back to clear him?
No, because there were, you see, and that's exactly what we don't want to do. We don't want to take frivolous charges. Because if you are a diligent prosecutor, the rule is not to get conviction, but to secure justice. And justice could even be exculpatory. If at the end of the trial, you think that the person didn't do anything wrong, the prosecutor must let the person go. That is the principle of... So we don't want to just bundle people like the MPP did, and create the impression that they were fighting corruption and ended up being more corrupt than anybody. We don't want to do that. And President Mahama, you see, we must keep faith with the president, because President Mohammed will not go for a re-election where he would want to lie to the people. He's building a nation. Okay. And when you are building a nation, it will take time, especially from the abyss that we took it. Sometimes it feels like it's easy. But the NPP was in power for 8 years, and they moved our currency from 4 cedis, 20 pesos to 17 cedis. This man comes to move it back. At a point, it was 10 cedis, and today it's 11.8. As of today, when I checked the BOG rate, it takes a lot of work.
Are you injecting more dollars than needed?
We are not injecting more dollars than needed. Then what will happen is that the exchange rate should even be 5, because then there are more dollars than people need.
Because President Mohammed has promised us between 10 and 12.
Because what we are doing is we are creating an enabling environment for businesses to thrive. We are creating an enabling environment for businesses to be able to employ young people. Okay. And so much as the anxiety about the pace is appreciated, we don't want to do an election winning gimmick, because you know why? In the short to medium term, when you implement policies for the purposes of election, they will expose you. And I can give you an example with the free SHS. The NPP just wanted to say that we've implemented free SHS. Let's get a speaking point. Let's get it out there. It doesn't matter that the kids were eating expired food. It doesn't matter that people were sleeping on the floor. There were no textbooks. When you talk about it, we've implemented free. That is not the kind of approach to governance. Okay. Because if you are building a nation, sustainability is one thing you should be looking at. So whether you are fighting corruption, whether you are implementing a policy, you ought to always ask whether this approach is sustainable, so that you have that in mind. And even when you implement and you see that it's not so sustainable, you must have the humility and the liberty to come back, review, and leave. Here, review doesn't mean cancel. You must have the liberty to come back and review and say that we piloted this project. We think that these are the challenges. We should go back. That is how to build a nation. But you know what the NPP is doing? For everything they could not do in 8 years, they are saying that in 8 months, the NDC must do it. We recognize that they know we have the potential to build the nation in the way they didn't build it.
Don't you think it's also as a result of the many speaking engagements on we can do it, we can do it? Now you are here.
We asked for a 4-year mandate.
Okay.
What we are asking is that the people would keep faith with us, journey the process with us. We will come back to the electorate and say that in the 4 years, we told you this, we told you this. These are the deliverables.
You promised them jobs.
We are creating the jobs.
And you're sacking people.
You know, then again, it brings me to my issue of not just implementing ad hoc committee. I had the privilege of being part of the secretariat of the transitional committee. So we sat in the meetings. Okay. In that meeting, it came to the notice of the incoming government that the outgoing government was just employing without financial clearance, without recourse to the effects of the debt exchange, without recourse to our revenue inflows, and a number of things. I remember when the issue was raised, Godfrey Dami said, we are in government, we can do anything until 7 December. So don't tell us what to do. But that is not how to build a nation. You know, so in some institutions like the critical services, like the nurses and all that, they were not sacked. Governments had to cater for them. But the NDC government does not believe in making or in rhetorics. Because you see, when you engage in rhetorics while you are in government, you may be deceiving the people for a short time, but with time you'll be exposed. So the NPP did not see that they were going to lose with over 1.7 million votes. Why? Because they thought on TV, they were saying all the nice things, and we've done this. They thought that anytime they were given the opportunity, so much eloquence on what they have done. But the people on the grounds did not feel it. What we are asking is patience while we implement policies, so we don't repeat the mistakes of the MPP. Because the essence of governance is to make sure that you make the lives of people better than you came to meet it. And so if the past government has done a number of things that we find wrong, we must sit back, reflect, and then take the lessons from them, so that together we can build a nation. You can't build a nation in 9 months when you fall for the rhetorics. People must not fall for the MPP's gimmick and game of it has to be done now. It has to be done now. Why? Because when you rush a policy, you don't get the right policy. In most of the policies they implemented, they never consulted stakeholders. I can give you an example like the e-levy, the community mining, and a number of them. No consultations whatsoever was done. So at the implementation stage, you realize that this is not what the people want.
Okay.
We take a different approach, and Ghanaians should trust the process.
In trusting the process, I'll be back. I want to talk about a particular process that Ghanaians are not happy about. Galamsey. Stay with me. To the show. This is still GH Today, your perfect morning companion, still the Heart Talk. My guest is still in her seat, Beatrice Anangfio Esquire. Beatrice, let's talk about Galamsey.
Let's talk about Galamsey.
Where are we in the fight against Galamsey? Some environmentalists say that President Mahama gave us the hard talk, but has been soft upon assumption of office.
Okay, so it's important to state that when the NDC came into office, there was no fight against Galamsey.
There was no fight?
There was no fight.
On what are you basing this argument?
So from 2023 till 7 January 2025, the NPP government had given up on the fight against Galamsey. They had withdrawn all security troops. There was nothing, whether by act of omission or whatever, that showed that they were fighting against Galamsey. In fact, it's the reason why you had the likes of TUC, the Catholic Bishops' Conference, UTAG, and a number of them sometime in October saying that we will go on some form of strike against Galamsey. The president and everybody said that there is nothing they could do about it. So that is the country we inherited. That point has to be made. Because sometimes the NPP makes it look like they were doing something. Yes, in their first term, they were doing something. But after election 2020, they had this erroneous impression that they lost mining areas because of the fight against Galamsey. So they stopped. And so the NDC government came into power and started the fight against Galamsey. Really, we are not where we want to be as a government.
Okay.
In fact, I don't think that President Mahama, the vision he has, we are even half through. We want to see our water bodies returning to something you can see your face and those rivers that you can practically take and taste, or fetch and taste and all that. That is the state we want to. We want to see our forest areas back and green again. That's where we want to be. But it's also instructive to say that the NDC government has claimed 9 forest areas, which before we came into power were declared red zones. That the NPP said they were no-go areas and they could do nothing about it. As I speak to you, they have been repossessed and currently no Galamsey. It's ongoing. That is good. Now, when we talk about the Galamsey, really, it's important to ask that we've had this issue with us all this while. But how did it get to where it is now? That has practically become a threat to everybody, including yourself, the people watching us, and the president. Everybody's at risk. It is because earlier, only big companies like the Newmont, like the Chirano mines, like the Sanko Gold, those big companies were those who were regulated to mine in forest reserve under very strict regulations. And you didn't have these issues because they had good systems like the tailing dam and all that. So when they mine, they never do the processing in the forest. Then the NPP came and declared a state of emergency. And the essence of that state of emergency was just to take licenses from ordinary Ghanaians to give to their party people. It's the reason that party people then had the guts to go into Galamsey and to enter into the forest. And so Professor Frimpong Boateng, who is not a member of the NDC, mentioned names of people at the Jubilee House. He just didn't make a sweeping statement that people in government. He actually gave names of people engaged in Galamsey, people who were close to the presidency that claimed to be fighting Galamsey. It is important to say that as we speak, there is no appointee of the NDC government that is engaged in Galamsey. And maybe, I don't know if it has been said here already, but President Mahama has banned all political appointees from even engaging in legal mining. So even where it is legal, the law permits you to engage in. President Mahama said, if you want to engage in the business of mining, kindly bring me my appointment letter and go and engage in the business of mining. Because look at me. You introduced me as a presidential staffer. I work closely with the president. Can you imagine if I had a Galamsey pit somewhere? How would the district commander be able to fight me when I'm engaged in Galamsey? So it was unconscionable that the government that claimed to be fighting Galamsey had its own government appointees engaged in Galamsey. That you don't have. It demonstrates the NDC's commitment to fight the Galamsey. The presidency is not benefiting from Galamsey. No appointee is benefiting. So there is that political will. Recently, when the issue happened, President Mahama invited all stakeholders, the CSOs who are related to the fight against Galamsey, and said that, come and let me listen to your perspectives. How do we do this? How do we build it? That is a mark of a leader who is willing to listen. And I've made this point consistently, that the reason the Galamsey topic for the past 6 weeks or so has been something that we discuss every day, it's not because any media house made a discovery. It is because the president and the NDC's government, in our quest to be accountable to the people, did meet the press. We could have waited till next year, 7 January. So we say that a year in government. We now want to assess. No. But in line with our transparent and accountable systems that we have instituted, we said, media, come and ask us any question. There was no selection of, okay, Lily, we don't want you to ask the question because you ask a critical question. No. Everybody asks a question. And out of this, we realized that it was a challenge, and I want to commend the media and everybody who is helping us to discuss it. But it is as if something was being done right. And the NDC government came and we started doing something wrong.
Okay, granted, something was not being done right. On the back of that, you campaigned heavily.
Yes. mandate. 10 months on, one of the critical things some members of your party asked for was the declaration of a state of emergency. President Mahama says, lie, I will not declare a state of emergency. What is the difficulty in declaring a state of emergency? So let me tell you, it's not about the difficulty. President Mahama is not interested in running a PR government where people say, declare state of emergency. Then you say, I've declared, then what's next? Because you know why? In 2017 through to 2018, when the MPP declared a state of emergency, Lily, do you know that gold exports in Ghana rather increased? Do you know that? The data from the Ghana Chamber of Mines showed that. So where from the increase? It means that governments may have declared something to the public because people were saying that there is a ban. And then people were rather doing what they have to do this time, perhaps with even government protection. Otherwise,
what if there were legitimate gold mines? I mean, the big companies.
Well, we don't mind that they were legitimate gold mining, but I'm saying that a state of emergency has been declared before. It did not solve the problem. So a state of emergency in itself affects even people who are not directly in Galamsey. So what do we do? There are 2 areas that is the reason. Those areas are the reasons why people are calling: 1, water bodies and forest reserves. And so we have declared water bodies and forest reserve as security zones, which is tantamount to declaring a state of emergency, because the aim of both is to protect these, what we call biodiversically protected areas. So what governments are saying is that it's not because we want to win the fight on the public. Because remember, as I speak to you, we are engaging stakeholders. We are engaging the chiefs.
Are you engaging some members of your party as well? Because I'm sure you'd recall that a number of them have been mentioned, not by NPP members, but by independent persons who say that some chairpersons of the NDC, namely Axim and Diskov, are involved in Galamsey.
So, Lily, let me tell you, as I sit here, and as I'm coming on the show, President Mahama has no means of knowing what I'm going to say.
That's true.
And so, whether you are MPP or NDC, the political parties themselves sometimes do not have control over what their members do and do not do. The test is when it is done, what is the reaction? When President Akufo-Addo appointed ministers, he did not contemplate that, for instance, the NSA people would go and dip their hands in public purse and all that. You don't really control the actions of people. Not even parents can control their children.
Sure.
But what happens is when you are told that your party members are engaging, what actions do you take?
What actions have been taken?
So let me give you an example. For instance, the national organizer and the vice chairman were mentioned
Yamin and
as
Avanga.
people. Quickly. It wasn't even the media that discovered it. They were referred to Iyoko for investigation even before the media could discover it. It was not as if somebody had gone to do investigations and then they found out and then government was compelled to act. Government acted without...
So what is stopping government from acting on these two persons that have been mentioned? I mean, these were mentioned as far back as in June.
Let me tell you some interesting story. I don't know whether my boss would be happy for me to say. There was a story, and that story was purportedly from Joy. And so they said somebody was engaged, a DCE from one of the constituency was engaged in Galamsey. They quickly wrote to the National Security Secretariat, the local government, and then for some reason we needed to attach the story to the letter from the secretary to the president. When we called Joy News, apparently they've never done that story. It was fake. So as I sit here, somebody doesn't like me and says Beatrice is engaged in Galamsey, but she has come to your station and she's talking about Galamsey. That will not be enough.
For clarity, are you engaged in Galamsey?
I'm not. I don't even know how it is done. Okay. I don't know how.
I just needed that clarity anyway.
You know, so we are saying that when briefings are received, and there is a basis for that, trust President Mohammed that he will act. This is a man who can remove his own appointee because she anticipated she wanted to get money. Not that she got the money like Cecilia Dapau. It was just an anticipation. He would remove you. So how much more when your name is mentioned in the fight that he's against? As I speak to you, NIMOS has been created. And NIMOS was a lesson from the Galam Stop and Operation Vanguard. That any time or in the past, we just had the security agencies who go, they fight, they go back in the evening, the Galamseyers go back. By next week, before they go, it's a mess. So what are we doing with NIMOS? For the areas that have been declared security zones, they are stationed 24/7. Okay. There is one gentleman in your sister station, Erastus Asaridonko, who has been very consistent and critical on Galamsey. As of yesterday when I checked, from the 7th through to the 9th, Erastus has just been praising NIMOS. And so the government is committed. We are providing alternative livelihoods. We are engaging the people. We are combating with the security forces. We are reclaiming the lands. We are encouraging civil society, the media, and everybody to also bring perspective on board and all that. That is a refreshing environment. That sounds like a government that is committed to fighting Galamsey. That sounds like a government that is not a beneficiary of Galamsey. So I want people to keep faith with the NDC. Don't listen to the MP. You know what the MPP is saying? For the mess that we created in 8 years, join us and let's pressurize these guys to do it in 8 months. But let me ask you, I was asking, they have been looking for X. So I want them to also find this X. If for every mess that was caused to our water bodies, the forest reserves, the environment, for every day of the mess, it will take NDC every day to undo the mess. For 8 years of the mess, how many days will it take NDC to undo the mess? This one, you have to find X. This one, somebody has to find the X and tell me. So there is a political will to combat. President Mahama has a style of leadership. Okay. His style is not to come and speak and look like in the struggle for our... Nah, that's not his style. His style is to have the benefit of hindsight. Is to ask whether this in the long term will favor us. His style is not to look at the next election. And this is a man that was only vindicated after he went into position. At the time he was building Circle Dubai, people said we don't chew roads. He was building UGMC. People said, this hospital you are building, the rich hospital, the UGMC, it can actually build 1,000 Chips Compound, District Hospital. So we have an election to go. Let's just build them so that we have something to show to the people. It was never his style. It took COVID to let people appreciate that the man was on a vision and on a mission and had the vision. And so I want the people of Ghana to trust President Mahama, the man that I work for the effort I see every morning, for the briefing and the things I see that he insists should be done, for everything that he's putting in to make sure that not just our economy, but our lives, our livelihoods, that of women, children, and everybody is made better. We need to support him. Otherwise, you know what will happen? We will fall for the MPP's noise again. We will fall for the rush hours again. And then later they will tell you, oh, we didn't know that this was what he wanted to do. Because of the hospitals President Mahama has built, MPP said they want to do Agenda 111. 8 years, they could not even operationalize.
Are you continuing Agenda 111?
We will. President Mahama has promised that he will continue all abandoned projects because we want to move away from that politics. That people, you invest taxpayers' money, there is a change in government and all that. So the project is currently undergoing audit. We will want to look at the state and then we'll continue. This is a man who has a vision for this country. And that vision is not limited to an electoral cycle. Yes, the NDC is a political party. When it's election, we have a duty to campaign. But from where we sit now, we think that our country was so destroyed in the last 8 years that we cannot do the same things we even did in the past if we want different results. And so don't fall for the rush. Don't fall for this thing. Don't fall for that. There is a plan.
Okay.
There are timelines. There is a political will. There is that desire to make sure that we do far better.
When should Ghanaians see tangibles? There's a plan, yes. But you also know that time is of essence.
Yes. So Ghanaians will see tangibles depending on their area.
In the area of roads.
So in the area of roads, very beautiful. Today, President Mahama has launched a big push. About 13 billion is being pushed there. So that for every region, you have linking roads. You will be seeing. So he even had to apologize that now you see construction everywhere. And if you want to see the man's commitment, look at what's there. Ofanko and the Insawam road. Look at the commitment. The project was abandoned. They thought that because there was change of government, people would be left. No, that is not his style. And like President Rawlings said, maybe President Mahama's style of leadership is not the ones that people expect in Africa. But we cannot keep doing the same thing, expect different results. It has to be different. And this is the precedent that is bringing that difference. And we must all embrace it, really.
Back on the issue of roads, now that you mentioned the Ofanko and Sawam, it stretches all the way to Kumasi. And we've seen a lot of carnages on that road. What is the commitment?
I have even seen some during the campaign, and some of them, when you see them, I shouldn't have even mentioned. The imagery is just so gory. That road, the president also has a plan for it. There has been a number of meetings, if I recall, not less than 3 meetings.
What is the plan?
The plan is to construct it, to expand it.
Timelines.
We would do it. Lily, you see, Lily, at the time President Mahama was doing that, you know the Circle Dubai interchange. I never get the name right because of the Circle Dubai. The same thing. What is the plan? What is the timeline? And these are questions from good places. But do you want quality? You see what MPP did with the Tamale overpass? 2 cars can go at the same time. Why? Because they fell for the pressure so that they would just have an overpass. Today, it did not serve the purpose. I'm saying that give us some time.
Okay.
We will come back to the electorate.
4 years.
We will
3
come
years.
back. We will come back to the electorate. But while at it, it's important for us to know that something is being done, that the contracts are being awarded. Today, do you know the amendment the NDC has brought? That ministries cannot just award contracts without a commencement certificate from the Ministry of Finance, so that projects are not just being done. And, oh, we are constructing this, oh, we are doing this, oh, we are doing this. And 4 years, we don't see anything. Everything must be planned and calculated. It is better we count our hospitals, that we have 10 operational hospitals, than to have 111 manhole built as hospital. That cannot be the narrative.
So then I ask on healthcare. You say you are continuing Agenda 111. Out of the 111, how many are you committed to build and make sure that it is adequately furnished and operationalized?
It would depend on the audit report. You see,
how long will that audit report take?
I think it should be ready very soon, because they started it for some time. But you see, I and every government communicator in the NDC government wants to be an honest communicator.
Okay.
Because we have been in this country where lies have taken us where it shouldn't take us. And so normally there is this temptation that when you come on air, when the journalists pin you, then you say, oh, in 2 months, in 6 months. That is not honesty. So by the time you are 4 years, you may get the tag a liar or something. They will change your name into something else. That is not what you want. We want honest communication. The honesty is that the project is currently undergoing audits. The audit's recommendations will tell which ones can be operationalized, because the MPP told us that they had operationalized 3, but that was not true.
So how long will it take to audit 3 hospitals?
No, not 3. We are not doing the audits in bits, because when you do that, you will not get a fair appreciation of it. So we don't want to do ad hoc auditing. You take this to no. We are doing the entire project audit, and it was, some of them were so poorly implemented. I remember a place in the Western region, I have forgotten the name, but when we were on the campaign, the guys were like, government said they didn't even get land. So government says, oh, we situated Agenda 111 here, but at the time there is no land. 4 years, the citizens will vote against you. That is not what we want. What we want are tangibles. And you know, the challenge many people have had with the NDC is that we don't engage in sloganeering. Because as I speak
but
to you...
But this time you are, 24-hour economy.
No, that's not sloganeering. So as I speak to you, about 113 communities have been connected to the national grid. They now have lights. For 8 years under MPP, they never had lights.
You say 113?
113.
On the top of your head, can you name about 5?
Oh, I don't know the name, but some of them are in the constituency of even the energy minister, but I don't know the northern names. Maybe I will furnish the producers with that later. But what I'm saying is that the only reason you probably don't know this is because we didn't say Operation Light the Region. Because we believe that when you have to give light, just give the light. The people there, but MPP would have said Operation Light the Region. How many communities... how many communities do we have in Ghana? But we have done just 113 with more to go. We don't have to do Operation Light the Region or Light the Nation or something. No. I think governance is serious. Governance is a very serious business. And what the NDC government is committed to doing is being honest with the people, journeying with us, and being transparent with us. We don't want to come and speak all the nice things and make it look like everything is well. President Mohammed has said, where it is not going well, put fire under us. We will be here to listen to you. And for me, I think that we should be happy we are experiencing a new level of governance where dissenting opinions are welcome, where now media houses can table topics without the fear of victimization or having to run away. That is how a democratic society is built. And we should welcome that. If for nothing at all, we should welcome that, Lady.
Okay, let's talk a little bit on the issue of Galamsey. The Blue Water Guards, what actually is their purpose? Whistleblowing?
Not just whistleblowing. So if you look at how the illegal mining is done, some of them are done directly in the water bodies because the Galamseyers say that the grounds are softer where there is river. So they just go there. So they are supposed to guard these water bodies.
With what?
So, with
guard
what?
the water bodies with what?
Let me give you I get the question when you say that with what, but let me give you one typical instance. When the MPP wanted to implement community mining in some areas like Fomena and one community in Western North, I always forget, the youth did not allow that.
Okay.
Government had all the guns and all the military people, but they couldn't implement it. Why? Because when the community says no to you, you can't do anything. So these water guards you see, they know the galamseyers. They know where they live. And so if they are guarding the water and you think they don't even have arms, they know how to help government fish you out. We must juxtapose the benefits of two, of giving people arms in ways that you haven't trained them. And even where you have trained them, when they use it, as against when they don't have arms. I recognize the challenges are nuanced, and so the solutions have to be complex. For some of them, the river guards may not solve the problem. NIMOS will solve. For some of them, NIMOS may not solve. It will have to take the cooperative responsible mining. For some of them, that will not solve. It will have to take regulatory compliance.
Are you not duplicating roles here?
No, we are not.
Okay.
We are not. You see, when you look at how the mining communities are, how to fight galamsey in Western North will not be the same as how to fight galamsey in Ashanti region.
Sure.
And that's what we are bringing on board in this fight. Because in the past, maybe you can forgive the MPP government, at the time they wanted to fight, it was like a one-jacket-fits-all approach. And so the same thing here, the same thing there. But you are realizing that for every community, the dynamics are different. So it's not duplication of rule. For each, some of them have, do you know some of the galamseyers? They start with license, and then they veer of the scope of the line, like Akunta mining. You cannot use the same thing or the same method to fight them like somebody who doesn't have the license at all. So the approaches will be different, and sometimes they may seem duplicated. But if it will get us where we want to be, really, let's support the government. Let's implement this one. Along the line, we will face challenges. We don't claim perfection.
Okay.
Along the line, we will realize that the people have become more sophisticated than the strategy. Let's go back and revise it. We must encourage those. We retreat, we organize, we go back. That is how to fight it. Otherwise, if you want to have what we call speaking notes, if you want to just be blabbing on air and all that, governments will be looking for 2 months, 3 months term solution. In 10 years, we'll be back to the same discussion. And this is the lesson from the MPP, that you can do all the short-term things so that you can have speaking notes. But in the long term, you'll be exposed. And that is exactly what we want to avoid.
In things we want to avoid, are we going to make sure that we avoid men ruling us going forward and bring on a woman?
It will be very beautiful to see.
I see that you're a champion of women.
Oh,
we'll talk about the initiative you're championing. But President Mohammed says in the nearest future,
a woman
will be president. Is this to say that the establishment candidate is Professor Nana Jennifer?
No, that is not it. But if you know President Mohammed, you know that he's very passionate about women. For everywhere he's going, he wants a woman as part of the delegation. In fact, I would say that in 2020, when many people were of the opinion that a woman will not win the election, he took the risk and said, let's give women a chance. By 2024, it was normal in Ghana that a woman could actually be a running mate and now a vice president. So he's very passionate. And I, together with my boss, Joyce Bauer, then as spokesperson, we were both women. We were speaking for him. Of course, Farida would always make the news, even at the UN. He has a female or a daughter, and so understand. He's one person who champions women. Sometimes when the people are bringing their representatives for the board, you ask, don't they have women there? Why are we not adding women? You know, and even in the appointment, you will say to the appointments or the appointing committee, when you give a woman main, a man deputy, a man woman deputy, so that we balance it. Just that you see, the politics and the space is some wild space. So sometimes the women want to protect their sanity. I have been subject to, some of the most ruthless attacks that will make women go away. If I didn't have a crocodile skin, I'm sure I would have chickened out by now. And many women don't have the kind of support and all that. But he is a champion of women.
Even with that, as a champion of women, he still has not been able to meet the 30%.
Yes, and the last time...
Isn't that the NDC doesn't have the women?
No, and the last time in Ho, he made that point, that if you look at affirmative action, by 2030, we should even be having 50% of women. It looks like we are not even going to get there. So we also want to... Some people... I remember 2 appointments that were made. They were women. And they came back to say, one, I have a child with special needs, so I can't take this job. And the person brought the appointment letter back. The president has done, his part. Another woman, she said, oh, my husband said she didn't want me in the political space. And so while I appreciate this, I can't take it.
And the person couldn't find other women to fill in these spots?
The appointments are not done. As we speak, the president has even instructed that we should look at more women. I think that this were even discussed at very high levels. And so there is that commitment. Okay. But Lily, let's be fair to President Mohammed. At least he hasn't said Ghanaian women are not dynamic. At least. Let's be fair. So both in his words and actions, he has demonstrated that he supports women, whether on international platform. I think at the UN, one of the strongest things he said is that I want a fair world for my young daughter like Farida. It tells you this is a man who is conscious about gender.
Since he said the appointments are not done, does it mean that President Mohammed will at least inch closer to that threshold?
Oh, yes. The aim, and he has made that point publicly, that he wants to inch to the 30 and even beyond, so that the people who will come after, because you see, he has set a standard. Now, it is no longer, I don't want to say weird, but it is no longer so magical. If all political parties will decide to have women as their running mates, maybe really you qualify for one.
Well, maybe a political party may consider.
Yeah. It is no longer strange. It is now acceptable. And with time, we'll get to a point where if you're a political party and you're probably not even nominating a woman or even making sure the woman is a flag bearer, the people will be punishing you because they are used to, that kind of
becomes a norm.
We will get there. We will get there. But for now, I think that while we are not there, some good progress has been made. And I think we need to commend the president for that. Because you see, there is also a challenge of regional balance.
Sure.
And so while you are doing the appointment, you're also looking at the regional balance. You are looking at gender balance. So it's a bit nuanced. But I want to encourage more women. I think the worst that can happen to you if you do politics is that you'll be insulted.
How do you handle those?
I don't even think I have time for them. Because, Lily, how is it that we exaggerate people so much that their opinions should define who we are? How is it that...
In the large scheme of things, who are you? Who are you in life? No, I'm asking. In the last scheme of things, regarding the opinions of people, who are you in my life?
Really. The people who care. If I look at my life,
the people who matter don't care. The people who care don't matter.
The matter and all that, they don't even criticize you. They show you love. They show you care. They are there as your support system. So I want to encourage women. It's not easy for the men as well. I work with men and I see the kind of work they put in. So it's not easy. It's a difficult terrain, whether for men or women. But it's so beautiful this morning, I'm sure, on the scene, watching young girls, watching the two of us talk about politics. Eventually, I, for the longest time, wanted to do media because I'll listen to Alaji and Alaji, and it was nice for me. And I think that these guys were doing amazing. The same way women will be watching us and they would want to be a journalist or whatever. The point is that the worst that can happen is that you'll be insulted. And you should be so used to insult. What is insult? Well, maybe because I'm gone. But insult is really nothing than people expressing their opinion. So we also want to encourage a lot of women. Lily, right now, if I say, Lily, come and join NDC, I don't want trouble. that would be your reaction. You say, I don't want trouble. So who should want the trouble? Who should want the trouble?
I
So
agree.
we want to encourage the women that come up. With time, they'll accept you. When I came onto the scene, I faced a lot of people were attacking me. People said I was not married. People said nobody will marry me. And
But are you married now?
I've been married for 8 years.
Okay, okay.
I've been married for 8 years. So I just want to encourage women that the worst that can happen to you is that you'll be a better version of yourself. The worst that can happen to you is that you'll be a good role model to another woman. You can imagine if Prof. Nana didn't want to be the running mate in 2020. Today we won't have the story. And she was vilified. She was insulted. I can literally recall some of the things that GHOne to me and Abronya said about her. Some of them unprintable. Some even called her a witch. She's fine. Nothing has happened. Today, she represents Ghana on international scene. So the worst that can happen is that people will express their opinions about you.
Are you persecuting, now that you mentioned, are you persecuting Abronya and GHOne to me on those scores?
Oh, no. Nobody. If the NDC wants to go after big fishes in the MPP, I don't think GHOne to me and Abronya will come close.
So you're not on any persecution spree?
No, in fact, in the case of GHOne to me, it's in relation to Galamsey. So it just demonstrates our commitment to go after the financiers as well and not the... And let's not...
Is he the only financier that we know?
We are looking at other financiers.
Like some in the NDC?
Yeah. If we find you, why not? You see...
10 months, you have not found any? But you said in the I ran up to the campaign. I beg your pardon. You said we know the financiers. You have not found any financier. Yes. Is it just GHOne?
Yes. So that's why I told you that when you go to court, you need to present the evidence. And so normally when it comes to financiers, you don't see a direct link. So you go to court with what we call circumstantial evidence. So you need to gather it, and the law is that evidence you are bringing must lead to one irresistible conclusion, that when everybody takes this, it can be Lily and no other person. And so you need to mount surveillance. It will take some time. You know, Gold Board has been arresting a lot of smugglers.
Yeah.
If I tell you the surveillance they mount and the kind of things they do before they arrest a smuggler, you can appreciate it. But we need to start somewhere. And for me, the NDC has started. Let's encourage them. Whether you are NDC or MPP, don't let politics or party be your immunity to wrong. Because we all live in the country. The people who are engaged in the Galamsey, they are drinking the same water.
Sure.
The people who are in those communities, people are giving birth with deformed, I mean, kids and all that. So we are all affected that way. When the government is wrong, let's call them out. But when the government is doing something, let's support them. And I think that in this 10 months, it is a pretty young government. It's a government that is committed to doing the right thing. The early signs are positive. Let's encourage them so that we can get more on board.
Okay, you have a capacity building initiative that you're championing, 20 NDC women. What are you doing? Are you encouraging them to read law? What are you?
No, I don't think I'm encouraging them to read law. I think that I'm a benefit of a lot of people who took special interest in my life. And there's so many things that I have access to because of the people I had access to. And they knew me from nowhere. They just said, I just want you to be who you want to be. So I see potential. And so when women want to come into politics, they are scared. And so I just want to encourage these women and tell them that, don't worry, the worst that can happen is this. Women in politics, there are two things they will say. They'll say you're sleeping the way to the top or you don't respect. But the moment you have immunity to those two things, all other things will be fine. So I just want to hold the hands of people like others are holding mine so we can walk the journey. And because I can't do it for a lot, I try to do 5 a year. So that in 4 years, I would have done 20. Because it's not easy. So for the 5 that I have, I had to look for jobs for all of them. They are going to school, and it's not easy. So I can't do more, even though I have so many offers, so many offers. But ultimately, it is to give back to society what society has given me. And I think it's very simple. I think it's very simple.
Are you eyeing any parliamentary seats?
No, please.
No,
I don't.
Why?
Oh, no. You know, politics is so diverse, you know, that you can contribute in so many ways to politics.
Do you want to be an attorney general someday?
No.
Why?
I have my own dreams and visions. They are quite different. I have a different path. You know, sometimes people actually create a path for you in their head, and they expect that you walk on that path. And so when they see you going up, they go like, oh, yeah, you're going up. No, I think that I have my own plans. I have everything planned and figured out. You'll see. Maybe
what's the regular day for Beatrice? Now that you are in power, before
before I used to be a full-time practitioner. So every time I was either in court or back to the office, or maybe a few consults. I used to do a lot of trainings. We call it, that's galamsey, but that's not this kind of galamsey. That's not this kind of galamsey. So I used to do a number of consultancy as well. And you know, I'm very unserious offset. People think I'm very serious, but I have a very free life. I'm an easygoing person. I'm a different person from what you see on TV. I'm a different person. I try to be. So
are you pressurized in the office? Is there a lot of pressure to deliver?
Work? Oh yes, as for work, there is a lot of pressure.
How do you handle it?
You will handle it. I think that my bosses don't take no for an answer. There is no room for mistakes. There is no room for a lot of things. Sometimes I think somebody has to tell my boss I'm a girl. I'm not a boy.
Are you by this medium actually telling him? So which one of them, Callistus or Joyce, that please, she's a woman?
You know, but for me it's a training. Dr. Callistus will always say that I'm training you, so I'm not under pressure. I think the expectation is that people think things should be easy. So when they go in and it's difficult, it's frustrating. But I love what I do. I love to serve my boss. I love to serve the president. And I'm so proud of them because if I look at the effort and the things they put in, the kind of conversations, the angle, the long term, I think that I couldn't have asked for better bosses than them.
That's quite interesting. You know, there are a number of NDC persons, foot soldiers on social media who are ranting. We've not been given jobs. People don't even answer our calls. What do you say to them?
I say to them that they should be patient. And I promise never to share the story. So I don't know whether to share the story, but I, for the longest time, was a very active team person in KNUST. Those who know me know that I started communication back even on Focus FM. And we would do door to door. And I remember in Nsuta somewhere, they poured water on me. And this was an Accra baby girl that I was doing all this hard work and all that. And in 2012, when the party came to power, it felt as if nobody was listening. I wasn't bitter. I didn't call. I remember those days I used to...
Are you sure you are not bitter? I mean,
no, I wasn't bitter. That was when I went back to law school.
Okay.
And today I'm here. I keep saying that we have a nation to build.
Okay.
So that every citizen will be happy. And we have a party which is a vehicle to also build so that we can continue to be in power. And so the fine balance between the nation and the party is not lost on us. And there has to be a calculated attempt to make sure that the state benefits and the party also benefits. Of course, people will have their own idiosyncrasies of not answering calls and all that, but that is not a reflection of who President Mahama is. I respond to every text message, I answer every call. Sometimes you meet someone and they say, I called you, you didn't pick, I sent you a message. Because they assume you won't pick. Then you say, show me the message. And then they've never sent you any message. But they are just saying it because...
But interestingly, some of the appointees have stopped answering calls, by the way.
Yeah.
Just you know, by way of information.
As I sit here and I'm talking to you, I have 42 missed calls sitting here.
But at least you return them. Some of the appointees,
yes,
you call them for interviews and they will not even respond to calls, messages,
Yeah, that's something that individual idiosyncrasy. Sometimes they are work. Some people can manage the pressure. You know, you ask me, how are you managing the pressure? If you come and see me on ordinary day in my office, people come to my office, they visit me. When they go, they don't call me again. They send me text messages around 10 p.m. And even that one, it is to empathize with me. So I want to also beg my party members to appreciate some of these things, that nobody neglects you. They would come back again. I worked with a number of people on the campaign. I cannot close my eyes because in the next campaign, I might go back to look for. Yeah, so some people also haven't found their feet. So sometimes you think that they have neglected you. They don't know what to tell you yet. So we want them to be patient. I am for the grassroots on any day. I'm one person who knows the feeling when your party is in power and you have not been recognized. I've been there before, you know. And sometimes friends will be laughing at you. I remember my test conference, Nanabi and the rest, because we used to do test contain back in tech, and they will be laughing at you, you know. So sometimes you can get a bit agitated, but we have a 4-year mandate. Some of the employments will come now. Some of them may come next year. Some of them year 2, some of them year 3. The ultimate is that Ghanaians must be happy. The party members must also see a commitment to grow the party. And together we will win. Otherwise, whichever one we choose over the other, we will suffer. And I think that government has a plan, the party has a plan, and we can only call for cool heads. Cool heads. That's all I can say.
What's the most expensive thing you've bought in the last 10 months?
I haven't actually bought anything in the last 10 months. What? Maybe food.
Your watch looks nice. How much is it?
It's actually a gift. It's a gift for my husband.
Oh. That's sweet. That's a sweet husband.
Yes.
Yeah. So congratulations to your husband for gifting you that. For thinking about you. We need men who support women.
Oh, yes. I don't want to praise him on air. It's okay.
I'm sure he's proud of you.
Oh yeah, he is. He is proud of me. He is, because he captured me when I was a student. So
oh wow!
So he is proud of me.
I'm sure one of these days we should walk into your home and interview you.
He's very secretive. Nobody even knows him.
That's a good thing, you know.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
But it's been great having you here.
The pleasure is all mine.
And kudos on your women initiative.
And thank you to you, the women in the media. You're doing a fantastic job. I can't say less. Sometimes the cyberbullying, the stories and all that. But hey, what's the worst that can happen? It's to be a better version of yourself. So keep it up.
Thank you. So that's Beatrice Anantfio. She's a presidential staffer, and she's been my guest on Her Talk. My name is Lily Mohammed. Let's do some celebrations now.